games on channel. Three amigos talking pixels, dreams and heroes. Every level, every quest, gaming moments. Wait for best.
All right, and we're live for episode 14. We got the full gang here. We got Curtis, Evan, myself,
What
Mark.
up?
Yo.
Hey guys.
Same show, new format. If you're on the video, we're trying out something a little bit different. I'm hitting you up from Australia. Curtis, where are you at?
Coming at you live right for the recording from Sofia, Bulgaria.
Oh yeah, and Evan, where are you? Besides
Well-
besides the year 2000 with your guitar in the background.
That's right. Yeah, Cleveland, Ohio.
Love it.
Go
Love
Cavs.
it. So hey, just catching up. We have a little bit of an agenda today that we want to go through. We don't pre-plan really anything. We just kind of catch some stuff that we want to talk about as the weeks go on between episodes. And I think we just wanted to jump right into the Nintendo Direct and the indie world and kind of get thoughts and stuff on that. And then we'll just roll through the episode as we go. Any last words before we dive in?
Yeah, I can't wait to talk about all these sweet games coming out for people that don't like HD.
Oh yeah.
What about
Talking my
HD
language.
Rumble?
HD Rumble. Yeah. What about it?
Talk about me living in the past, you know what I'm saying?
He does have a stack of Nintendo Switch games in the background, just to be clear.
That's for the HD Rumble.
Okay, so we did have a Nintendo Direct partner showcase in an indie world. It was a 2-for-1. The usual rigmarole beforehand of there will not be any Switch announcements hardware-wise at
Switch
this.
2.
Switch 2.
Successor. Switch.
Super Switch, Super Mega Switch. They always got to preface it with that. So let's just roll through it. So first one was Balatro. We got a little update. Either of you played Balatro?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
This guy's missing out. Like, wait. If I get banned for the podcast every single week because I ain't seen or played something, I think it's time to ban Curtis from the podcast for not touching Balatro.
Balatro's
No,
incredible.
Bro, I have been vindicated, and I tried the Vampire Survivors game Mark told me about in our last episode with the 4 whole pixels moving across the screen. Dude, I am golden for life after that one. So
Oh, okay. We'll get your thoughts on that later.
All I'm saying is your boy Jeff Keighley, you know, I'm pretty sure he whispered into our ear that that Balatro is Game of the Year at the Game Awards this year. So
I would actually love to see that up in the Game of the Year discussions.
That would be sick.
So
Wait, so you say you didn't like Vampire Survivors?
oh my god, what's the next game on the list?
okay. So really quick,
We're not
the
getting
Bala-
sidetracked already.
the Balatro update. The Balatro update is Friends of Jimbo. So this is a completely aesthetic type thing. You know, those crossovers. So this has got Dave the Diver, Among Us, Vampire Survivors, and Witcher, and these are just like card themes for your deck. So it's pretty cool. Free update.
I love the indie. Like, well, we don't have to get a discussion on whether Dave the Diver is an indie or not. But like, I love it. We have like Dave the Diver,
It's not.
Vampire Survivors, and then Witcher. Right?
The Witcher, yeah. So hey, that's cool though. Card game's pretty popular in Witcher, right? Gwen.
Gwen,
Okay,
yeah.
I'm gonna roll through these and we're gonna roll call really quick. Quick thoughts or pass. Okay, so the next game was Neva, and this is from the team behind Gris. If you ever played Gris or seen that.
Pass.
Yeah, I did not like Gris.
Yeah, I didn't either.
Probably.
Moth Cubit.
Pass.
Oh man, I can't remember. I've got to bring this list up.
This is the Insect Mega Corporation RPG thing.
I mean, it sounds like something I'd play.
Bro, I've literally played. I'm looking at. I have literally played games on the NES that are more graphically intensive. I don't understand. Oh my god, my blood pressure, dude.
Okay, how about Coffee Talk Tokyo? Coffee Talk was a
Oh,
pretty
yeah.
popular game, and it's on Game Pass.
Coffee Talk is not. Coffee Talk 2 is now on Game Pass, I believe.
Sorry.
I think
Get your
the first one came
facts
off.
straight, bro.
Fake news.
But,
Fake news.
Yeah, no, Every time I see it, I'm like, oh man, I really need to play this. This is my kind of jam. It's pixely. It's
It's a visual novel.
narrative adventure. Yeah, right.
Okay,
But
one of those.
it's my kind of visual novel, I think.
This is
So
like the minimum level of like pixel graphics that like where you can be like, oh yeah, actual effort was put into, right? Like this actually looks decent. Don't know anything about the game, haven't heard of it before, but looking at the screenshots from the Steam page, I'm not gonna bash this one just purely on look alone.
It gives it a pass.
Yeah.
Okay. Next one I know you'll both talk about: Sea of Stars, Throes of the Watchmaker DLC free coming out in the spring.
free
What are you-
DLC.
What are
Yeah.
you thinking?
I think I'm excited. Honestly, I love CSR so much. And like, so it went on a little long. The game went on a little, but I really loved the game. And I'm like, I just want to pick up a physical copy because I played it on Game Pass. I kind of want to pick up the physical copy for Switch. And, but like, which has me like, do I want to pick up the physical copy for Switch and then play through the game again and then play the DLC? And the answer is kind of, but
I think this is why Evan never beats a game.
I know, right?
yeah, hey, whoa. I was beating games.
He was
I was
on a
beating
hot
games
streak
for-
last year.
Yeah, I was saying.
Okay,
about a year
all right,
and a
I stand
half,
corrected.
I
I stand
was
corrected.
beating game after game. I beat like 16 games last year, and then I beat
This
another, like 4 or 5 at the start of the year, and then something happened
Okay.
around like May where I just hop after game, and mostly JRPGs, right? So, but
Okay,
so,
next on
you
the
know,
list. Quick thought on Sea of Stars DLC free comes out in spring. I almost guarantee this is off Game Pass and PS Plus by then to try and get people to buy.
Yeah,
and then you get that.
that's also why I'm thinking about just picking up the physical copy for Switch.
Yeah.
But I could just pick it up for Xbox and only play the DLC. So,
or Steam Deck.
So is
But
this,
I have the
the
same.
save.
I've beaten the game on Xbox. Yeah.
so is this like Final Fantasy Tactics? I'm looking at screenshots only, like, or is it like
Oh, have you not played this?
I'm not playing.
Oh,
it, no.
You
it's
would probably
it's-
like it.
visually
Is
stunning.
it like Octopath Traveler,
graphic.
or is it like Final Fantasy?
Yeah, it's a
Tactics?
JRPG. It's a JRPG with some real time elements, like in combat where you're trying to just time up like attacks.
You can deflect
correctly.
attacks and stuff by
Yeah,
hitting
yeah.
the button.
Okay.
So it's a little more
But it's-
interactive.
It is
Okay.
you could play it completely turn based without any of that. Like it's just it gives you a little extras in combat.
Gotcha.
But
Okay.
no, it's an awesome. It's heavily inspired by like Chrono Trigger.
Chrono Trigger, yep.
Okay.
And excellent.
I'll had to check this one out. I don't hate it from the trailer that's being played on their website.
Yeah, it looks it's high quality, right?
Yeah. And
In
I
terms
know
of
it is
the
pixel art,
visual
but
it's
it's
going
beautiful
for.
pixel art.
Yeah, it's like
And
the
it's Sabotage.
classic SNES era.
Have you heard of
SNES.
the Messenger? Curtis? Yeah. It's one of those side scroller pixel platformers.
And that's why.
But it's the same team that made that.
All right.
It was also highly acclaimed.
Power Wash Simulator fans, we got a Shrek pack coming. Anybody?
The Shrek pack.
Got to clean the swamp.
I couldn't get behind this one even when they added the 40K DLC. It's just not for me. No, it's hugely popular. Just wasn't for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got the base game because my kid plays it, and that's about it.
Okay. Morsels. This is where you're playing as a mouse, I think, if I remember right.
Yeah,
Okay.
this is a roguelike that looked like right. This is the action roguelike. This looked like you're up your alley, yeah, Mark?
Yeah. I'm interested, but we'll have to see. You know,
Oh, really?
I need to
Okay,
see
so
more.
maybe not.
It didn't totally pull me in. The next one,
It
though,
doesn't look like it does anything super new, right? I did like the
Mhm.
visual style. It kind of brought in a little bit of what's Animal Well had, just like a little bit of
Yeah.
that filter that Animal Well has.
yeah.
I thought that was pretty cool. I mean, definitely a lot more like fully saturated colors or whatever, as opposed to just like the neon lights or whatever that Animal Well did. Okay,
Yep.
this
Okay.
is this next one's Mark's game.
Yes, date everything. I am actually interested in this for my wife mainly, but I listened to an interview about this, and the way that it came together for this dev team to make this game was actually like pretty cool story, and like they seemed like they were really excited about it and behind it. And there's a lot of like hilarious comedy in this because literally you're dating everything. So basically, the premise is like you get these glasses, and then you can look at things, and you can transmorph them into people, and then date them, and have like the classic romance simulator type things. But there's a ton of like comedy and stuff with it because of how just absurd it is that like you can look at a book and turn it into a person, or you can look at your key ring and turn it into a person, and then they have characteristics based on that. So it actually seems kind of cool from the interview that I saw.
You're trying to get the dresser to drop its drawers. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my god.
Oh, that was so hilariously terrible. How long were you sitting on that?
Amazing.
No, I was initially going to come in with like, Mark said, oh, my wife would date me, so she would apparently date everything. But
Damn.
That toaster looking real good right now.
looking hot.
Okay, so you guys.
All right, we can
Okay,
just
so
leave the
that's-
whole episode
that's-
on this, right? Let's.
You guys are a pass on this one? Okay, got it. Next one.
Yeah.
Peglin. Roguelike
Oh.
pachinko inspired RPG.
This looks
Kinda
this
looks
pretty
cool.
cool. Yeah, and Mark, your dad makes pachinko machines, right?
Something like that, yeah.
So maybe I'll get into this. No, I was kind of like, it looks. But the more I kind of think about it, more I look at it. I mean, it looks kind of cool. Like, I mean, it's looks pretty cool. Like a game that we would get into. We like our little road like that builder road games and stuff like this. And this kind of has that type of combat, but with pachinko instead of a deck, right?
Yep.
Fair.
Wobbly Life. Open world
I'm out.
physics sandbox. I'm out as well.
I do not like the what's the physics called, the ragdoll physics games. Human
a
fall
fan.
flat.
Yeah.
I'm not into any of that really.
Okay, got it. Pico Park 2. This has got to be Curtis's favorite based on the graphics.
Oh my gosh,
I gotta look
this
it
is
up.
I'm telling you, this is a remote play stream right here. This looks like I don't know, looks like a fun game to stream. And
This would be good.
Just
Like
have-
you and me just knocking it out, backpacking the crybaby over here as he's complaining about
oh yeah,
the action
the
platforming.
graphics,
Yeah.
and the
Just-
platforming, yep.
Irredeemable.
Oh, dude, it looks like it's just got so many laughs to play this with a bunch of people,
Yeah.
Irredeemable.
Shovel Knight, Shovel of Hope DX. So I
Eh.
think this is this now has online multiplayer with it. Was part of the thing with this, which was cool. I loved Shovel Knight when it first came out. They kind of kept going and using the property more and doing other things. I didn't play any of the follow-ons, but when you originally kickstart this or whatever, you got the base game, but then they kept adding stuff, and it was like basically all inclusive. It was actually pretty cool. Shovel Knight's good.
So I have Treasure Trove, and what I don't is there like an upgrade path for
Yeah.
this? Because
I don't think so.
because this is going to come out and be $40, right? I mean, probably.
Probably.
Treasure Trove is like that is what $25-$30 or something like that. That's kind of disappointing. It makes you think of when Overcooked came out, and like you bought like one of the Overcooks, and then they just put them in the bundles the same price, and you're just like, but
You're like,
I
cool.
already own one. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Evan's got a bird or a baby. I'm not sure. Yeah, he's a
It's
dad.
definitely a baby or a bird, a baby bird.
All right, let's keep moving. There's a ton of games. Europa, I'm passing.
Yeah, this looks pretty cool. I'm
Pass.
feeling it.
Okay, Cuisineer, roguelike.
Yeah, this was like a quick flash in the direct. I felt like it looks okay.
Okay, On Your Tail, story-driven detective. Curtis.
See, the problem with me is it's on Switch, right? Like all of these.
Did you not just take your Switch on travel? I could have swore I got a Snapchat with you playing the Switch on
I
the
did.
airplane.
And I played the whole time. I played Slay the Spire. That's the only thing I played on it.
Okay, I'll accept that. Metal Slug Tactics.
Mm.
Looks cool.
I I've never really gotten into Metal Slug. It's one of those games. I'm sure we all have these type of games where it's like, that game looks so awesome. I love the way it looks, and then you just never want to play it, or you never get into it. That's Metal
Never get
Slug
around
stuff
to
for
it.
me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Metal Slug, I feel like it's just been coming back in like full force over the last few years too. Like you just getting all kinds of like the ports of the old games and new games and remasters and stuff for the Metal Slug games, which it's kind of cool. Yeah, I'm with you. It's like Metal Slug looks like something I could get into, but never
Yeah.
have.
Last two are the big bangers of the indie showcase. So the Plucky Squire. Yes.
Looks so
I assume
good.
we're all going to
Looks-
try this. Is this going to be part of Game Pass? Or no?
Ooh, that's a good question. Maybe.
Oh, it's quick Google.
Quick Google.
Yep. Plucky Squire Game Pass. Maybe not. Nope.
Okay.
There is a Reddit post talking about the Plucky Squire. I swear this was announced as coming to Game Pass initially. So maybe it was. No, it's not. I don't know.
Maybe it fell through. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people thought this was a day one Game Pass, but this game looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Kind of jumping between 2D
Such
and
a-
3D worlds.
Yeah, it's such a cool idea, right?
Yep.
It's takes me back to my favorite 2D Zelda game. Right?
Hey, until the new one comes out next month. Or this
That's
one.
right. That's true.
Dude, just
The
really quick,
Pokemon one, right?
Yes.
The
Pokemon
video they
Zelda.
dropped
Zelda.
on this revealed like this game is so much bigger. I'm sure we could talk about this later on. But did you see that video they dropped?
I'm trying not to watch it because I'm playing the game anyway. I'm trying
Right,
to.
right.
I was kind of going back and forth on whether I want to watch it or not. But like Curtis, I think talked about on last episode a little bit, just like not watching trailers for movies and stuff coming out. If you know you're gonna watch them, like it's like
Yep.
I don't need to watch a trailer. I don't want to spoil anything. I want to go in
Right there with
blind.
you, boy.
Right. So the final drop of the indie part was Pizza Tower. Super popular game. Curtis, have you heard of Pizza Tower? It's
Nope.
it's kind of like Sonic and Wario type style, I would say. Is that accurate?
Okay.
Yeah. I think that's a fair.
Yeah.
It
I'm
looks.
looking at
It's
it
definitely
on,
your style of game.
Steam, and
He's
I
gonna
can
hate the aesthetics of it.
wholeheartedly
Hate
say
it.
that is incorrect. Somehow they have paid for 55,257 overwhelmingly positive reviews. So
Must be terrible.
Yeah, it's bad.
But no, I haven't. I'll pick this up when it goes on a sale or whatever. It's just there's so many of these like incredible side-scrolling pixel art indies that are coming out and stuff like these
Mhm.
days, and yeah, I'm into a bunch of them, but like I just wait. There's so many that I can just wait until they go on sale for like $6. You know, I mean, we
Yeah.
all know that I have almost 300 games on my wish list on Steam, so you know,
that
I
you
just
do.
I just sort it by $10 or less, and I still end up having 30 games at any given time.
This guy.
That's actually a pretty good idea, though, to filter through like all the gajillion things that are out there, and then just pop it over to like, yeah, I got $10 that I don't mind spending today. Let's see what's on sale or what's price dropped.
All right, Mr.
Yeah, I just
Richie
picked up
Rich,
Kingdom
$10.
Kingdom Come Deliverance for $3.
Yeah, I saw that. A while ago. I have that game on from a Humble Bundle a while ago, but I thought $3 was a great steal for that.
Okay, so that was the end of the indies. Then the Nintendo Direct Partner Showcase was up. First
Starting
thing,
off with a bang.
Tetris Forever. I think this is big time. Even if you're not a Tetris fan, you can respect the greatness and the history around Tetris and really the following of it. But this is like literally all the Tetrises coalesced into one game, right? Or almost all of them.
A lot of them, yeah. I have a Tetris T block on my keychain that I carry around, and so I'm pumped for this.
This guy's pretty good at
nerd.
Tetris. Something that I thought was cool about this game, if you're a Tetris fan, is that there's that like timeless mode or whatever, and you're playing, and the game shifts to different game types. So you could be playing like the original Tetris, like from the Game Boy version, then it could jump to version on from the GameCube or whatever it is.
Oh, that's kinda
hopping
cool.
through it. Yeah, and it'll just shift as you're playing. So
That's pretty sweet.
I'm
I'm all about it.
Next one, Star Overdrive. Any thoughts or pass? That's a pass.
Yeah.
Goat
I
Simulator
don't remember
3.
it. Oh
Bro,
No,
can't
this
wait
looks
for this
pretty
one.
Are you serious?
oh no.
No, I'm not
Wow.
serious at all. Hard pass.
I was like, damn, like that's the one he picks that he loves.
Quadruple hard pass, dude.
Dude, this Star Overdrive looks pretty cool though.
Legend of Heroes Trails in the Sky, the first. Turn-based RPG.
I
Anybody?
mean, no, I'm not really a fan of those.
Nope. Star Wars Hunters Season 3. Has anybody tried Star Wars Hunters? Your
I'm
mic's
not.
gone, brother. You're on mute. It shows you're muted.
Is that their little like MOBA style game?
Yeah, they're a little MOBA free-to-play shooter.
Yeah. Okay. I haven't tried it yet. But it looks interesting. Like it doesn't look like it is terrible. I just haven't tried it. I haven't
Yeah.
also tried in that same vein the Pokemon one, which I really want to, and then I just like always continually forget about.
Unite? Is it Unite?
I think so.
Pokemon Unite?
Yeah, I think so.
Stalker Legends of the Zone trilogy.
I mean, we got Stalker 2 coming, and I just have no reason to jump on anything that's not that. That's
Yeah,
Stalker.
and I'm actually curious
That's
like how
valid.
they would get this to perform on the Switch. I don't know if it'll be good. Worms Armageddon Anniversary Edition. Worms is always fun, but I'm never gonna buy it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's kind of where I am. Like, it makes me. We played what was it? Pocket Tanks or Battle Tanks or something like that back
Yeah.
in school. It was like a Java-based game, and that was always fun. But that's what it makes me think of. And
It's more of a time
makes sense.
killer with buddies than really anything.
Right.
And we don't have time anymore. We're old.
Yeah.
Disney
to that,
Dreamlight Valley. Your wife plays this, right? Curtis?
She did. She doesn't anymore. I
Okay.
think she just got bored with it. That released like about a year ago,
Maybe
maybe
more,
a year and a
yeah.
half ago. Yeah, she played it for a while, and then eventually told me I could uninstall it from the Xbox because she was done with it. So
Gotcha. SpongeBob SquarePants Patrick Star game. Open world SpongeBob game. The one we were all
I played
waiting
a little
for.
bit of. That's right. I played a little bit of Bikini Bottom Rehydrated. They're pretty solid games, the SpongeBob games, and I mean, I think SpongeBob's one of my favorite cartoons ever, and at least the first 7 seasons or whatever until they totally changed writers on it and stuff. But yeah, I don't know, maybe.
Okay.
no,
Fitness Boxing 3, your personal trainer. Pass.
Yeah.
double pass.
Okay, and then big news for fighting fans here. Capcom Fighting Collection 2 with some actually kind of like rare games that are harder to get and play, like Power Stone 2, and then also, just to mention another fighter, Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection Arcade Classics, which is crazy. Has X-Men Children of the Atom, Marvel Superheroes, X-Men vs. Street Fighter, Marvel Superheroes vs. Street Fighter, Marvel vs. Capcom Clash of Superheroes, Marvel vs. Capcom 2, and The Punisher. Like these 2 collections are big time if you're a fan of any of these games or this style of game.
I
pretty
fall
awesome.
into the not interested category.
Yeah, I'm probably going to get the Marvel vs. Capcom one. Too many good memories playing this stuff as a kid, growing up with my dad and my friends.
But you're going to be grabbing the Dragon Ball Z with 211,000 characters on it.
Yes.
How are you going to split that time, dude?
Parking's there? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
There we go. There we go.
But
Like
by not
most of
playing
us.
Worms.
Yeah. I'll have to drop Worms. Atelier Yumiya, Alchemist of Memories in
Atelier.
Envisioned Land.
Whoa,
Excuse
dude.
You take this one.
We'll
You
just
take
dial
this
it
one.
back. Damn.
No, the only reason I know it, so like I was watching during the direct, I was like, I never know how to say. I always say it like Atelier or but anyway, in the direct, he's like Atelier, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna remember how to say this now, Atelier.
That's
But
This pinky out. Atelier.
speaking of Patrick Star, pick you up.
oh
Anyway,
my god.
if you know, I guess. But
Okay, Suikoden 1 and 2 HD Remaster.
Whoa,
Did
whoa,
I
whoa.
say that
So
right?
you're gonna breeze right by Atelier, just like the Nintendo Direct did. Like there were like all kinds of posts on Reddit about how this was such a big announcement. I felt like
Were they
it
all
was just,
from
like,
you?
they just maybe I don't know, but no, I've never played an Atelier game. But yeah, I don't know. I thought it. Have you played any? No, I guess none of you guys have played the Atelier games.
I couldn't even pronounce it right.
There was that's true, but yeah, there was a few good JRPGs that dropped in here. That was one of them.
And we're about to hit another one. So Suikoden 1 and 2 HD remaster.
Yeah,
Always
these
a
are
game
games
I've
I
wanted
wanna-
to try, but I just haven't had time.
and they're goaded for a lot of people, right? Like there's
Mhm.
like especially like Suikoden 2 like is like some people, and then like I think 3 was supposed to like wrap it up, and like they just it was totally botched, so they just gladly ignored it here, or maybe it never came out or something like that. I don't know, but I know Nate the Hate from like the Spawncast podcast, and he's a huge Suikoden fan. Suikoden. Now I'm not pronouncing things right.
Oh,
But yeah, no, I'm totally down to try this. I'm kind of curious if some of the people on our Discord have played this, because we got some JRPG fans there.
Okay, we'll find out. Dragon Quest 3 HD 2D remake. I'm
HD.
interested.
solid.
I
Oh,
was
yeah.
I was there until we got to the 2D. Then it lost me.
That's where
Well,
you
it's just
grab me.
Went
Pulls
from
me back
HD
in.
to 2D.
Went from
Is it
HD
Octopath
to
Traveler
3D.
HD 2D?
It sure is.
There you
It's
go.
it's
Also-
what sparked the genre. It's what sparked the
Have-
whole visual style.
Have only
Exactly.
played probably about 3 hours of that one. So just take that for what you will.
Yeah, just skip over to number 2. Okay, big
Yeah,
one.
really.
Big
On
one
Game
for
Pass.
me. We got Game Pass. Big one for me. Castlevania Dominus Collection. This is a sweet collection with some of the DS games and stuff here too.
Yeah, I'm feeling
Any
it.
interest?
I need to play more. I need to play more Castlevania. Dude, I loved all the classics in this direct. I mean, at this point, where the games that came out when the Switch came out are now probably considered classics. Are almost
Yeah,
retro.
that's-
Switch is almost retro, and it's still a current system. So it's at this point in its life, it's kind of what else are you going to get? And getting all these classics is pretty cool. A lot of cool collections and remasters and stuff.
Yeah. This next one was puzzling to me. Civ 7.
Could not believe when I saw that one on there for sure.
Okay, all right. Is it me, or did like just visually like the trailer just like, okay, did they just take the Civ 6 engine and put Civ 7 on it for Switch? Is that what? Is that what's
Maybe.
happening?
Yeah. I mean, that was kind of the vibe, but
But yeah, I mean, we're all pumped for Civ 7, but I don't think any of us are pumped to play Civ 7 on the Switch.
Not on
No,
the Switch.
no.
No.
Yeah, I do have 6 on the Switch, but yeah.
I have 6
I
on
have
the iPad.
I have 6 on the Switch as well. It was like a physical copy for like $10.
Yep.
Tales of Grace's F remastered. Pass. F for pass. F in the chat.
Okay. This was another, I think, big
I
JRPG.
My Sims Cozy Bundle. Pass.
Pass.
Yeah, same.
Five Nights at Freddy's, Help 1 and 2, and Security Breach. Pass. I'm just not
Pass.
into FNAF. Yep.
Nope.
Yep.
Yeah, same.
Disney Epic Mickey Rebrushed. This could be cool. This is the one that was on the Wii that was very popular and semi hard to get for a while. Brought back to Switch now.
Yeah, I'm pretty interested in this. This looks like a really good 3D platformer.
Tales of the Shire, Lord of the Rings game. I said before that I was interested in this, and I got clowned in the Discord by a couple of people after they listened to the episode.
Really? If this is what I think it is, I didn't think it looked all that bad. I wasn't ready to dump on this one. I mean,
Oh, you got clown too, Curtis. You just weren't there in the Discord.
that's fair. See, ignorance is bliss, y'all.
But no,
Yeah, this was like
I'm
the
just,
Animal Crossing one, right? Like Animal Crossing.
Yeah, like
yeah.
Cozy Life Sim. Yeah.
dude. Yeah, which I want to play a game that just exists in the Shire. I really do, but I want it to
This
be
is
good.
it.
So like, yeah, maybe, right? Like, we'll see how it comes out.
Maybe.
Yeah. Just
Just
Dance
Dance.
2025. I'm out. Funko Fusion. I'm out. Okay. For audio only people, there's just a lot of head shakes. EA Sports FC 25. I'm out.
Pass.
Yeah. It's just
Lego
nice
Horizon
lull in the
Adventures.
direct.
Highly interested. Not on
Like
Switch
my
though.
boy
Yes,
Mark
it's cool.
Cuban, I'm out.
All right, let's
Um,
see.
I'm interested in this on Switch. So I'm not.
Lego
My kid-
Horizon.
my kids, my son has been just loving the Lego games lately, and he's got Jurassic World, and we got him Indiana Jones. I started with like the 360 version of Lego Indiana Jones, playing on the back compat, and then we just added more and more Lego games and stuff. So this one, he just saw robot dinosaurs, and the first time I showed him the trailer, he's like, Legos and robot dinosaurs, like, I'm in, Dad.
Yeah, yeah, totally. My son's in a big robot phase, and they both love dinosaurs, so I'm sure they'll think it's
If you guys
awesome.
like robots, I know a guy.
I do, yeah. I was actually looking at his stuff today.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Rune Factory, Guardians of Azuma. Never played a Rune Factory game. All right, in the
Never heard of
comments
a
and in
Rune
the
Factory
Discord, hit me up and shame me because it's pretty popular.
Yeah, this looked like a pretty solid one though. Like the combat and stuff that's in it. I was like, oh, like I thought in my head, Rune Factory was just like Stardew Valley, but without the combat. And it was like, or no, I'm thinking of what's the Harvest Moon? That's what
Yep.
I'm thinking of.
Okay.
Never mind. JK.
I mean, we're only sitting at less than 1,500 reviews on Steam for the last one, so not that popular.
Got it. Yakuza Kiwami. I am not into Yakuza games. I may try
No,
one
same.
eventually. It seems like if you're into it, you're super into it. And there's a show
Yeah.
coming from Amazon, by the way. So
Oh, cool.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, I'm in the same boat. Like it's a lot of people love Yakuza series. This seems like people are really excited. Like this was a good one to drop as the first one back on the Nintendo platform, and just some hopeful speculation that I think that's been out there that like we just start seeing more of them on the Switch successor and the Super Switch here, and but yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm not gonna pick this one up. If I'm gonna play a Yakuza game, I'll play one on Game Pass just because I don't know if it's for me or not.
yeah, that makes sense. A caveat about the show on Amazon. It's one of those ones where the showrunners are like, we're not going to follow anything from the games. We want to take our own liberties. So
Okay.
yeah, one of those guys.
Those
Yeah.
always turn out really well.
We just want the
Yeah.
name.
Yeah, exactly.
Borderlands just do that.
Yeah, Halo. Anybody? Okay.
Oh man.
All right. So that wrapped it up for the direct and the indie showcase. Please jump in the Discord, hit us in the comments if you liked anything that was in there, or maybe you want to call us out and get our attention on some of these games that we clowned on and passed on.
Feel free to just talk all kinds of trash about all of it though, because that's pretty much what you should be doing in the first place.
What does Nintendo got to do to pull you in? Are you buying a Switch 2 when it comes out?
No, definitely not.
Damn.
I would-
too.
I would sooner buy, and I'm not saying that this is a bad thing. I would sooner buy a Steam Deck or one of those things than I would buy the Switch 2. We talked before that I bought my Switch solely to play Golf Story to begin with, and then since then
I love
I
that. I
have
love that.
played Golf Story, Stardew Valley, and Slay the Spire. Those are my main 3 games that I played on it.
Listen,
And I've
this guy
played-
gives me the hard time. No, we're gonna stop real quick.
Yep.
This
Okay,
guy
let's
gives
go.
me
Let's
such a
go.
hard
Let's do
time.
this.
Because he's such
Get
a hard
ready here.
time for me playing all these pixely games with bad graphics, no graphics, and he's sitting here like, I'm playing Golf Story, I'm playing Stardew Valley, the best graphical, visually highest, demanding game you've played, you've talked about here is Slay the Spire.
I don't disagree.
And
However,
Slay the Spire looks like
how-
Garbo, by the way. To be honest,
oh yeah,
just
it's
stupid
not good at
drawings.
all. No.
Anyway, go ahead.
However,
Exactly.
what you are leaving out here, right? Like your argument is, oh well, most accidents happen within 2 miles of your house, even though that's where most of your driving ends up, right? That's you with the Switch, right? Those 3 games are the most that I've played on the Switch. However, all of the graphical intensiveness that I play for all of my 99.9% of the other games I play come from the Xbox or the PC, right?
So
Versus
what we're saying is Curtis'
100%
perception
of your
the
stuff
Switch
comes from the Switch.
Curtis's perception of the Switch is, oh, it can play Super Nintendo games.
That is exactly correct. Yeah, when I and that's
Maybe that's
like
the
that's a
problem, dude.
huge portion of their market too. Look at
Oh man.
the online thing, right? The Nintendo Online, where like the whole reason that you get it is so you can go and play like the old Super Nintendo games, the old regular Nintendo games, and all that stuff, right? It's basically the reason to have it, unless you're like one of the 11 people that are still playing Mario Kart online, right? Like,
Are you gonna play this new Zelda?
no,
You're not.
nope.
You're not playing Zelda? Gotta catch 'em all?
If that was the name of it, I would buy it and play it solely for that reason. But no, I'll not be playing that. No.
Wow, this freaking guy. You were speaking highly on it and just like, no, I'm out. But yeah, I think
He showed that interest. He feigned interest.
Yep.
I don't think it looks bad, right? I think it's an interesting concept.
But
that
it's on
doesn't
the
mean I'm
Switch,
gonna
so I don't want to play
though.
it.
So
That's what I
even
heard.
if it was on Xbox, I still wouldn't play it. Even if it was on Game Pass, I still wouldn't play it. It's just not the kind of game that I want
Whoa.
to play.
Wow.
Right? It's
Okay,
just
I
not
mean,
my jam. This coming from a guy who like I didn't like I mean I can pretty much count on one hand the amount of Zelda games that I've actually enjoyed, right? I've never fully even beat any of them because they just don't hold my attention long enough. Like I
Wow.
never beat Twilight Princess, I never beat Breath of the Wild, didn't even play Breath of the Wild 2. Not gonna play this one. Just not my thing.
The disrespect when he calls it Breath of the Wild too.
Oh,
Is that what it's called? What I don't even know what it's called. What's the name
Yep.
of it?
yep. Nope, it's Breath of the Wild too. That's all you need to know.
I mean, it's Breath of the Wild 2 with Lego building, dude. That's the name. It's on the title.
Oh
my
man.
God.
There's just tears in the kingdom of my house right now.
Yeah,
But
Oh my God.
whatever. You're right. You're not wrong.
That's a
However, when
5-second
I
mute.
search Breath of the Wild 2, pops up immediately as it knows what I'm talking about because I, like many other folks, just call it Breath of the Wild
so
2.
what about like Fire Emblem? I mean, it's not like Nintendo. Nintendo doesn't have one kind of game. They have.
No,
don't wanna
you're
say-
not wrong. I played Fire
yeah,
Emblem a
there's-
lot during COVID. Fire
you
Emblem
played the
three
crap out of Animal
houses or
Crossing.
whatever.
Yes.
Again, yeah, I played the crap out of Animal Crossing again during COVID when I was stuck
Yeah.
inside. Right.
I mean, when else do you play Animal Crossing?
Fair. That's actually the only
I
Animal
don't-
Crossing I've ever played.
Same.
That title.
Put 100 hours into it in like a month
Yep.
and a half, and haven't
Yep,
touched it
exactly.
since.
And yeah, same. Somebody I don't remember who, somebody was telling me that like they've added a bunch of extra stuff and updates and stuff like that. And I'm like, yeah, but all the weeds and shit have grown back from my into my place. I don't want to go digging those out. I'm
Yeah.
I'm
I
good.
don't even take care of the weeds in my yard, let alone do I have the time to
Yeah, exactly.
play
I'm
the
like
game.
that place has turned into the hood, man. Like I don't want to go over there. It's a rough neighborhood.
The windows of my house are boarded up. Like
Crack dealing frogs up around the beach. Great.
So yeah, long story short, no, won't be getting a Switch 2. Highly unlikely. I won't say won't. You never say never kind of deal,
Listen,
but extremely unlikely that I will get a Switch 2 or whatever they're gonna call it.
I'm
I
gonna
want
put,
to when we get the launch
wanna put a
lineup. I want
gentleman's
to
bet.
revisit that.
I'm gonna put a gentleman's bet on in 18 months. Curtis has a Switch 2
Within 18 months of now or the release.
today. Within 18 months of today.
In
We don't even
18
know the
months of
release
today.
date. And I'm saying
What's the wager? What's the gentleman's wager?
Oh,
That's what I'm saying.
man.
Yeah, that's a good question. All right.
A $10 Steam gift card so that when I win, I can actually put it towards something that's good.
Oh no.
How about
How about
you
we
just got
get- I get
you don't like you got to play something
Yes,
Curtis is super
yes.
into, and
we got to roll
yeah, so-
credits. We got to roll credits on a 30 hour or less video game of
That will take
the
you
other two.
4 years. Like that's people get bachelor's degrees in less time.
Hey, whoa. I took 8.5 years to get my bachelor's degree. Thank you
I'm
very much.
7 for me, dog. I'm right there too. I'm not.
he was like hopping around. You're like, what are you doing? He's like, I don't know. I'm taking engineering classes, and now I'm doing construction, and then I was doing math. I don't know. Like,
pretty much it.
Oh my
now I'm
god.
in the music class. I don't even know how I got here.
I mean, I'm in my 5th year of chemical engineering, and I'm studying for finals with Mark, and I changed majors, looking at
Oh
Mark's
my
study for his
God.
finals.
That's incredible.
Yeah,
It
but
all
no,
worked
yeah,
out.
I say 30-hour or less game. That's what we come back
All right.
on. What is it? February 31st of 2026.
All right. I'll virtual shake on that one.
You know this dude's gonna
March-
buy it on March 1.
March 2nd. March 2nd. No. It's February 31st would be March 3rd of 2026.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. So
You heard it here.
March 3rd, which actually isn't March 3rd the date that the Switch came out
I think you're right.
in
You're onto something.
2016?
You're
There it
onto
is.
something here.
It'll be in 2016,
March 3rd,
so it'll be in the
2026,
10-year
yeah.
anniversary. The 10-year anniversary of the Switch. There it is. That's a perfect date.
Okay, you got it. All right, guys.
Write it down.
After that chaos, let's pick a couple things to come out here. I wanna pick this one out really quick. So Star Wars Outlaws came out, which we'll talk about, and Foam Stars had some changes. So these two kind of go together in my mind once we actually dive into this. Either of you play Star Wars Outlaws?
Has yet? I have not played
Yeah.
it yet.
I have not played it yet. I intend to play it after I saw the reviews, kind of like in that 7-8 range. I was like, I'll wait and see if things get fixed up or anything get added. We discussed in the Discord with some of our listeners that you could just pay for Ubisoft Plus for $17 for a month and play the game, and then you don't
Sure.
have to buy the full thing. As I said, reviews are kind of middle of the road and everything. The controversy with this game, if you're not aware, is that there was the pay for early access, right? So you pay the $110 bundle, Vice the 70, and you get it, 3-4 days early, whatever. And then also reviewers had it early, so everyone was playing the game, and then they want to release an update for the title launch, the real release date
For the full
And-
release, yeah.
Yes, and they find that it's corrupting the save files. And so they send out an email to everyone that has the game, and they say, "Hey, you've got to restart the game over once it comes out. You can't, you can't keep you can't. It's not compatible." So hold that thought for a second, and then I also have Foam. Hold the thought. Foam Stars was a PlayStation game that you paid for, and it was like one of these, live service type games, not doing well, as we probably all guessed. And they've decided to go free to play. And so people that have bought that game are getting some type of in-game cosmetic or something like that, and maybe like some PlayStation bucks or whatever, fake currency or something.
Sure.
So the way I'm tying these two together is that, can we discuss getting a game early or being an early adopter and then having the rules of the game changed on you, where you now have to delete your save and start over, or you've paid for the game that is now free for everybody and you're getting nothing in return only months later? Do you guys think this is fair? Do you think it's right? What do you think about this trend and what's happening with these two games?
I mean, the paid for a game and now it's free is definitely not something new, especially if you're an MMO gamer, right? I mean, for what, 10, 12, 15 years, the model of an MMO game was you buy the game, you pay the subscription, you play the game. In the last 10 years, as MMOs have kind of gone down in popularity, that's been switched, right? That the games are free to play. You can pay a subscription if you want, get faster XP or whatever they're enticing you with the subscription cost, or you can just play for free and it'll take you longer to do everything, but you're not out anything but your time to put into the game. So I mean that's not really anything new. Might be new to the genre, or I guess probably new to folks that are on consoles more than PC, right? So,
and this was only 6 months after. So this came out in February. We're now about 6 months, 6-7 months, and they've changed it to free to play.
So ultimately there's two options if that's the route that they've taken, right? They've looked at their business metrics, even though I hate that word, and they said, we're not making any money. We either go to free to play or we shut this down. So in either way, even if they shut it down, you're out your money. If they go free to play, you're quasi out of your money, but you're being reimbursed with in-game currency or something like that, like you said, right?
Right.
Not a great situation, but it's not like they're like, cool, thanks for the money. Now we're just going to give it for everybody free to play, and everybody's still on the same playing ground.
Right.
Appreciate
Right.
you as
Nothing to show for
like
it,
helping
right?
us as a startup. Yeah, exactly. So nothing new. Not saying I like it. But if the alternative, if it was a game that I paid for, it's a game that I like. If the alternative is for them to shut it down, then sure, I'd rather them just switch it over to free to play.
Okay. So hold that thought. No comments on Star Wars Outlaws yet because it's different, slightly different situation. Evan, any additional thoughts to Foam Stars? Do you agree?
Yeah, so I think in 2024, the fact that we have any service games releasing that are not free to play is a little bit outdated. So it's like shame on Square, shame on Sony for releasing pay to play, like pay to play service games or whatever, or
Mm-hmm.
$40 service games instead of being free to play. But also shame on the consumer at this point for paying for a service game. I don't
Mm-hmm.
like
Mm-hmm.
like in the first place.
We
But like
all bought Destiny.
so that's a good point. So but
And it
like
wasn't 40.
so
It was 60. Get it right.
no, it was 20. I paid Tony $25.
That's
For
true.
it.
That's
Oh,
true.
yeah.
You bought it.
So I was gonna say in 2024, right? Because like Overwatch came out, we all paid for Overwatch. Rocket League came out, we all played for Rocket League. But those are both free to play now, right? And
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and even Destiny is what, free to start, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, like the first
Kinda-
several things are free.
So like you can play these games for free. So those games in 20, in the teens, in the 20 teens, that was a thing that was happening. It's like, oh, we're in this transition of going from, pay for the service game, and then that's like where the bulk of the revenue comes from, and then we might have some DLCs or whatever that come out, and then it's like, oh no, it's all in the skins, it's all in the things that you have to go, and then the free to play is to get as many players as possible. So it's like the fact that like a service game needs players, right? So it's like if you
Mhm.
put a paywall to even have players, that's just not the right model for a service game in 2024. In my
Yet
opinion.
Sony
And
keeps doing it.
yeah,
As we'll
right.
talk about
And,
Again and
Concord in a
again.
minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, and I think Helldivers is a little bit different, right? Like, because Helldivers isn't this like the skins every week. This like it's just kind of more of a like progressing storyline as opposed to like
Mhm.
and it's a co-op game, right? Like it's not a competitive shooter or
Right.
a competitive game. So a competitive service game maybe
Yeah.
is the right way to phrase it. But
So you're cool with this. No issues
going
with
free to
the
play.
flipping.
Yeah, I mean, I think it should have been that in the first place, right? It launched on PlayStation Plus after they
True,
realized
yeah.
nobody was buying it, right? And Concord will be there before the end of the year, probably, right?
It might be
You mentioned
tomorrow.
Concord. Yeah,
We'll talk about.
might
We'll
be
talk
free to
about
play.
that in
I
a
don't
minute.
know.
Um,
Right.
Yeah. So okay. I'd probably agree. I think 6 months is really quick. A lot of these other ones we've seen, it's been like a year plus. So shortening that window, man, you get like 3 to 6 months out, and you might be kind of salty, like, damn, I really spent $40 or whatever. Now it's it's free to play, and I got a backpack in the game. Cool. That's a $40 backpack does not feel right, or what
True.
whatever it may be. So that kind of sucks. So I don't love it, but I get it. Especially from the business standpoint, like you said. So let's circle back to Star Wars Outlaws. I'll just go around the horn again. Over to Curtis first. Thoughts on this game-breaking bug and the update and the corruption and having to start your progress over after you've paid the additional $40 to play
To
this
play
game
it
early?
early. Yeah. Sucks, dude. It's kind of the worst. Um, yeah, it sucks. I don't know.
Maybe it is
There's-
actually early access then, right?
the-
It's not day one.
In this case, yeah,
what we're
absolutely. It's not a good look, especially for Ubisoft, who people were already not excited about getting like the Star Wars license to begin with. So I didn't buy it. I don't have to deal with it, unfortunately, or
Yeah.
fortunately, either one of
Yeah.
those in this case. But yeah, it sucks. I'd be pissed. I think everybody that is pissed is rightfully pissed.
I would be hella mad, dude. I would be so mad.
So you do get like the early access deluxe, that whatever pack that you paid extra for, right? I'm sure it came with some whatever DLC or what. Like it wasn't.
I think
just
it
early access,
guarantees
right?
the season pass or like whatever DLC, and then like a few outfits or something
Yeah,
to
yeah.
dress up.
And
in the
then
game.
you get like a 100 UB coin or whatever to say sorry for the people that have to
Yes,
restart their
correct.
game.
No idea what value
Uh,
100 UB coin is, but
Yeah, on Newswave, they said it like equates to like $1.
nice.
But
Sorry, we
it's
wasted
like
all your
you use
time, and you got to start all over. Here's $1.
right, like whatever the UB currency is there, or whatever. Like it was just basically like you use it to get like discounts on new games. So it's like, oh, sorry for the our crappy practices. Here's a discount to get one of our other games.
Yeah, like here's Assassin's
To
Creed Red.
to give us
Hopefully,
more
the same
money.
thing doesn't happen again.
Right.
True.
But so for me, I mean, it is it is not, you're playing it early, right? Like, and you're gonna have your day one patch. If this were me, I would be pretty frustrated. It's super frustrated, super annoyed.
So
But
it's sorry, I don't
Go
want to. You
Yeah.
can spend 100 UB coins to get 20% off of a game. It looks like. So,
Okay, it's a little bit better than
Yeah.
$1.
Oh, okay.
not quite $1. Still not great though,
Well,
by any means.
20% off of a Ubisoft game that goes on sale for $20 after a month after release is
That's still $2.
$4.
UB shade.
We've already doubled.
That's true. That's a good point.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. But this is I don't know. It is that
That's brutal, right?
I just,
No, you're good.
it is.
Absolutely.
It is. But it's like, I don't know. I mean, you're the one that's also spending $40 to play this game 3 days early, so I don't know. You're in for it.
Damn, so
They've already
you're-
duped you.
Your risk. Yeah.
Now, having said that,
Your risk.
if this
I mean,
would've
I'm just
happened with
thinking
me in
back.
Starfield.
Oh,
So
you'd
I
have been
did
mad,
this for
right?
Starfield.
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely.
I'm thinking back to Survivor and Fallen Order. Both of those came out, and I know life those games so hard because I think a lot of us will buy a game and you think like, oh, this is my big weekend to play whatever game you're into. Like you set aside some time, and I must have played 20 plus hours within a weekend or a holiday weekend on Survivor. And man, would I have been mad if I lost all that time to that
Yeah,
weekend.
yeah,
Head
that's
start.
what I
probably
was
just
thinking
want to
as
play
well.
again. I wouldn't
Yeah.
play it again, really,
No,
especially with
I
Yeah.
would do
the
the same.
tutorial and stuff at the beginning. Oh, I already get annoyed by that stuff. I would just drop it.
Yeah, the worst part of Starfield for me was the first 10 hours, and so it's like, and I put 20 hours into the first weekend or whatever it was, before the day one of the release of Starfield, the
Mhm.
early access time that I put into it, I probably had, I don't know, probably had 25-30 hours into the game by the time it actually came out. And if I would have had, like I said,
Right,
if I would
right.
have had to redo that again, I'd probably just drop it. Nope.
Yep.
Playing Sea of Stars.
Yeah.
Okay,
no,
let's jump
I completely
to-
agree.
Let's jump up. Well, before we jump, I just want to say, I think I would love to hear thoughts about this from any of our listeners and our Discord members. So please let us know what you're thinking about this one and your viewpoint. So let's jump in on another one that we mentioned was Concord. So we kind of knew the writing was on the wall that this game was going to be probably an utter failure. It was getting clowned. There was not anybody in the beta, and they said it to be like open beta and like invite everybody, anybody can join, and still people weren't joining. Laughing stock of the internet. And then now now we get word that there's an estimate that this has only sold 25,000 copies. This was a game that was
Across everything.
Yeah,
Yikes.
I think it's 8 years in the making, considering pre-production too and COVID years. 25,000 units. So 25,000 times 40. Quick math. That's what, $1 million? Is that $1 million? Yeah, so $1 million
Yep.
bucks. How much did this game cost to make? You guys?
Over 7 years. I mean, dude.
Yeah, tens of millions, right?
Probably more than
Yeah,
$1 million
exactly.
bucks.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, is this game going to go free to play? How soon? Did they just kill this game? A lot of times you'll see things like this released both in games and movies for legal reasons. So
Sure.
for tax purposes, stuff like that, it has to be released, right? Or it has to be made to keep the rights to something or whatever. Famously, the Fantastic Four movie back in the day was made and then not released. As soon as they filmed it, they just fired everybody and canned the film because they needed to film that, for tax reasons and IP reasons. So maybe they had to push Concord out. They put the $40 price tag on it to get as much as they can, and then they're just going to drop it.
Try to cut
I
their
don't know.
losses best
What do
they
you guys
could.
think?
Yeah, I mean, what was the big articles they're saying there's like 700 players on launch day or something like that, right? Like
peak player
Yeah.
count, I
Steam.
think, was 768 players on Steam.
yeah,
So maybe
And
1,500 on PlayStation.
take that.
Man.
That doesn't look good, right?
I mean, day one you're
Not
already having
voting
bad
well.
bots.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just, I mean, it sounded like you said, the writing was already on the wall with nobody joining the beta, nobody really showing a whole lot of interest in the game to begin with. At that point, I don't even. You got to put it out there and recoup your losses at minimum, right? Recoup what you can, even if you only get 1% back on what you spent into it. That's something.
Right.
It's
Just
so wild to me that all right, we've got already Overwatch established, right? As you know, that is the hero shooter, the default hero shooter. That's the one that everybody's playing. If they're playing a hero shooter, it's free to play. You've got big IP Marvel rivals coming down the pipe.
December
Free to play.
6th. Yep.
You know,
With good buzz.
and-
Good buzz.
so
Xbox
you're
has that
already
one coming
in,
out.
Um,
I forget the name, but they showed it at the Xbox showcase. But it's not.
The power one or gravity one or something. We have the different powers that change the rules of the game.
Yeah, exactly, something like that. Yeah, so it's not a small market space, right?
yeah. So and these are all free to play. I don't know about the Xbox One because I can't think of what you're talking
It's
about,
Game
but, like,
Pass for
they're all
sure.
free to play. So like Concord's already coming into a genre, and it's a brand new IP. It looks like discount Guardians of the Galaxy, and we're already getting not discount Guardians of the Galaxy, but at no price, right? Free to play.
Right.
And you're gonna charge $40 for this game? Like like you're just setting this up to fail. Like it almost feels like that was your intent, was for this game to fail. Like it makes me think of when. Oh yeah, okay. It makes me think of when EA put Titanfall 2 out there just right between Call of Duty and Battlefield or something like that. And they put it right there, like, and it's like you felt like they did that just so they could lower the value of respawn to buy them, right? I don't know, man. It just like, but like I don't know what PlayStation's doing here, because it's not like that's what they're doing because they own the studio. But it almost feels like there's like you've got to know that this is gonna fail. You've got to know this is gonna fail, and you're still like this. You should have known this 6 months ago, 8 months ago, 10 months ago, before pre-orders went up. There was no interest in this game. It's got to come out free to play. You saw what happened to Foam Stars, right? Like, and it's just like, how do you not at least put this into PlayStation Plus day one?
It's not even PS Plus on day one. Yikes!
No.
Nope.
Yeah. Nope.
Yikes!
Yeah, it's not great. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know what's going to happen to this game. I think it might just be gone.
Maybe they put it on Xbox.
Maybe they do a Fortnite thing and they pull it and then relaunch it with something, kind of turn it a little bit, right?
Yeah, pivot it.
Yeah,
it looks like it should have been had a cool co-op. They put all this investment into this game, into building we're gonna have every week we're gonna have a new cinematic trailer and all this stuff, and it's like you're trying to build all this lore. Give us a co-op shooter or a single player story campaign that people actually get interested into lore and narratives for, right? I don't know.
Yeah, they definitely got stuck on this path of doing these live service games, and they tried to line up like 10 of them, and hey, if 2 hit, we're good, and we're seeing all the failures, right? But I don't think we've seen any success yet in terms of live service. They've either been
Helldivers.
canceled or they've been teared.
Helldivers was successful for a hot minute till they screwed that up too. So
Yeah, that one's
but I think Helldivers made their. I mean, it was.
Yeah,
blew
it
all
was
of
a
its
success.
out of the
It was
water.
a success.
Yeah.
Even though the player count has dropped now, with all those issues. Okay, so while we're on the topic of PlayStation stuff, what about we got the news that Indiana Jones is coming to PlayStation.
Yeah.
It's a timed exclusive to Xbox, even though it's being done by Bethesda and Machine Games, right? And
Yeah,
an
comes out like
Xbox
spring
studio.
or something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
sounds
so
right.
basically, if it came out on Xbox at the start of this episode, it'll be on PS5 by the end of it.
All right.
What are your guys' thoughts on this? We'll let Evan go first, and then we'll just jump in and cut him off because I know he's going to go forever on this one.
Yep, for sure. So, I mean, to start off, Microsoft or Xbox renegotiated the contract they had with Indiana for this Indiana Jones game to make it exclusive. They renegotiated the contract with Disney to make this an exclusive game.
Mhm.
And then in that time, from that time that they renegotiated this to now, they've decided to put it out on PlayStation anyway. And which is just it's kind of wild. Like, to me, this is Xbox that there's got to be some division or on, like, there's multiple directions that are up top that are, you've got one person wanting to go one way, one person wanting to go another way, and they don't have clear direction on where they're going. And it's, to me, it's not necessarily like, I mean, more games for more players everywhere or whatever is better, but if whatever it's doing to the Xbox as a brand, to me, is concerning. And Xbox as a brand, Xbox as a platform existing is important to the industry. I think just more competition is better, right? At least for the consumer. And I think it's a little. I mean, PlayStation players, I kind of expect this to hit regular Game Pass Standard or whatever, probably at the same time. But it's like PlayStation players might be playing this game before Game Pass Standard subscribers. Like, how whack is that, right? Like, oh, I'm a Xbox platform customer. I'm buying the Xbox Game Pass. I'm buying into the ecosystem. Oh, I would have actually been able to play this sooner if I would have been. I mean,
Paid full
you can still
price.
buy it. Yeah. If I
Yeah,
paid
I
full
mean,
price or
I'm
whatever.
not getting it for
Yeah,
free.
you could pay. Right. You could pay for it full price on Xbox, but it's just kind of weird, right? Like, it just sends this. You're getting all kinds of mixed messages from Xbox, and this is not to me a good look to the existing apparently not shrinking player base that you have, because Phil Spencer says they have more Xbox players than ever. But I think what that means is people are buying Sea of Thieves on PlayStation. People are playing, every person out there playing Minecraft and Call of Duty is an Xbox player. I think in
It's
the
fudging the
words
numbers, huh?
Yeah, right. Yeah,
It's a gray area.
we got 300 million Xbox players, and 290 million of them are playing Call of Duty and or Minecraft
on PlayStation. I'm just kidding.
on PlayStation.
Okay. Fair thought. I think we'll go around the horn a couple times on this because it's going to be a deep dive topic. Curtis, what do you think?
I mean, I don't really have a strong opinion either way. It's not a game that I'm hugely interested in to begin with. It'll be on Game Pass. Maybe I'll check it out. Maybe I won't. Like I said, the last gameplay footage that we saw, the combat and stuff looked very, very stiff. So I'm curious to see when it actually comes out, when we get some actual reviews before I even bother checking it out. I don't disagree if with Evan, if that turns out to be true, where folks on PlayStation can, but that just means I'm still thinking this through. So it's going to launch on PlayStation, but like the PlayStation folks will still have to buy it, right? Like, it's not going on PlayStation Plus. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Well,
So
maybe.
it's so it hits Game Pass first for Game Pass Ultimate, right?
Yep.
And then 6 months later, it hits PlayStation to buy full price, and that's all we know. And then Evan's saying presumably then maybe it hits Game Pass Standard at the same time, the lower tier of Game Pass. Yeah.
I would be very surprised if that happens. Honestly, like maybe they drop at the same time. I definitely I don't think they're gonna put another platform before like it's available to the Game Pass masses. Not weirder things have happened, right? But I think that would be very strange if that were to happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't really have a huge issue with it. They if they can get more cash to fill the coffers to keep making cool Xbox games, and they do that by you know selling stuff to PlayStation, so be it. I don't mind.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, my expectation. I was just gonna say my expectation is that it probably hits the same day, right? It hits Game Pass standard the day it hits PlayStation.
Yeah, that would make sense, I think. But we'll see. For my thoughts, this really doesn't bother me. And I've kind of said this in the Discord chat and in our own text. This, to me, the vision for Xbox makes 100% sense to me. I think a lot of people get caught up in the back and forth of like Microsoft's controlling this or internal struggle with Xbox and Phil. To me, I think Phil's on board. They were going one direction. They got investment from top leadership at Microsoft in terms of dollars and support and Azure and stuff like that in the different teams. And now they're saying, hey, you've got to show us something for this and let's reevaluate what the business looks like and how do we make money. And hey, we can still give all these value to our Xbox loyal people and through Game Pass and what have you. But we've seen through data like Sea of Thieves, extremely popular. Rumors of that selling tons of units and making them money on PlayStation after going over there. So we've seen with that data, this is another
1 of 4.
revenue stream. What's that?
So 1 of 4 games.
Yeah,
Other
right.
He does.
So they see it as another revenue stream. As Game Pass people, we get to play it. We get to play it first. Then they try and sell it full price over on PlayStation. It gets more players. Maybe the game gets more support. Maybe it gets more DLC. If it's a live service game, it's a bigger player base. I really don't have a problem with this. The model has changed for them. The consoles are a sold at a loss, right? It's to get you into the ecosystem and play. They've lost this battle with PlayStation over and over and over. The people that are truly entrenched in just PlayStation are extremely hard to convert. They found through their data that was in an interview with Phil Spencer. And so they can't keep playing the same game. So they have to step outside into a different lane or change the rules of the game. So this is similar to what Nintendo does, right? They're playing their own rules of their
hear
game.
me?
Yes.
Not if you can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you.
Sorry, guys. Sorry to interrupt the episode here. I can't hear anything that's going on.
All good. Anyway, I'll continue on my monologue, but I don't have an issue with this. It's a different vision. They're going to sell as many games as possible on as many platforms as possible, and they are going to try and get you on Game Pass. And so that's the way they're going to make revenue. It's no longer about getting you on the singular console. Will they have some type of hardware? Yes, I'm sure they will. Whether it's a handheld, a Fire Stick, a stream it on whatever TV you're on, or you buy their Xbox that they release, it doesn't really matter. They're just trying to sell as many games as possible because the investment to make a game and the risk, as you can see with things like Concord, is so high and so costly that they have to be able to have a safety net, and that's the safety net. So looks like Evan's dropped out of the episode, so it just got way better for all of
the
y'all.
headset up, calling it quits. He's like, yeah, I'm out.
So I don't, for whatever reason, my headset's not working. You guys are on my speakerphone. As long as that's not causing problems on your guys' side,
Check 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. I'm good, man. I'm good.
All right.
All we hear is the baby, not me. So,
sounds the same to me. No, I'm just kidding. I'm probably the baby here that's crying about Xbox right now. But
you feel very loyal to the brand. I totally get your viewpoint.
So
I just don't agree with it. That's all.
So you said you're 100% behind their vision. My problem is, what is this vision? What is it? I feel like I'm driving in the fog here. So like to me, it feels like they're taking the stick, putting it in their front wheel on the bicycle meme, right? Like and And like when you talked about how they they've lost this race against PlayStation over and over again. Well, that's because they've put the stick in front of the bicycle. Oh, we've lost. It's like, well, yeah. When you hurt yourself, that's what happens. You gotta make moves to gain ground back. The thing with me, I wouldn't have issues with the multi-platform. There's a few things that go in the multi-plat that I think would make sense. One would be if everybody was kind of doing that, or at least PlayStation was doing that as well. Then it just makes sense. Now it's not a competitive thing, right? Like the reason that exclusives have been important in the past is that's been the reason to buy the platform. Now Game Pass is the reason to buy the platform, right? Is the reason to buy it. Xbox is for the
For
Game
me,
Pass.
the reason to buy it is the controller is far superior.
And the controller, right? They do have other reasons to be involved in their platform. I agree. I like the offset sticks. I don't, it's wild to me that PlayStation this far into 3D gaming is not gone to offset sticks. But even though the DualSense is the best controller they've ever had, it's
a good controller.
But the thing for me is, like I said, it's the uncertainty of what the vision is. What else is coming? What else? What for me? I'm not if Xbox disappears, I'm probably not going to PlayStation. I'm probably going to PC to where I can still get Game Pass. Right? Like I'm going to something where I can play Game Pass, but I'm probably and even if there is an Xbox next gen, I'm not certain that I'm sticking with Xbox. I might be just looking at something to have Windows where I can play Game Pass, PC Game Pass. So then I can only pay $12 a month or whatever the price is at that time, not have to pay for online multiplayer, right? That I hardly use anyway.
Can I stop you really quick?
Yeah.
You know who's not worked up about that? Xbox,
Microsoft.
because you're still paying them. Great.
Yeah,
you can you're still paying our games.
I'm probably not in the norm. I don't know. It's just they get that revenue right now on Xbox. You get 30% of every game sold on Xbox. And maybe that's part of for them, Game Pass is kind of cannibalized that for them.
Mm-hmm.
So they're like, why do I care if you buy an Xbox? Why do I care if you're on the Xbox platform? If you're not subscribed to Game Pass, or if you are subscribed to Game Pass, that's what's bringing you to platform. And then you're not buying games. So why do I care if my games are elsewhere? Right. So, but the fact is it's so opaque, right? This vision is so opaque. And I think if there was clarity as to what we can expect, I mean, to me, it's like, man, if they came out and they said, all right, every service game is going to go multi-plat day one. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And then, all right, that clears up that vision, right? Because people are like, oh, the day that Master Chief is on PlayStation is the day that it's over. And I'm like, if Halo
it'll never happen.
If Halo Infinite multiplayer hit PlayStation, I have less of a problem with that than I have Indiana Jones hitting PlayStation, or Starfield hitting PlayStation, right? Because it's like we just got done talking about how service games need players, right? And it's like to hold up a service game, you need players. Well, then Halo Infinite on, and then you've got oh man, this Master Chief, this Halo plays really good. I love the way this Halo plays, man. I'd love to play this in a single player game. And then you buy an Xbox, right? Or then you buy into the Xbox platform as opposed to just buying, or just playing one game, which may, like you said, maybe they do or don't care, but that would be the way to go. But and again, Indiana Jones coming to PlayStation to me isn't necessarily a big deal. Just the uncertainty of what is and what is not, and what is what.
That's fair.
Sell me the reasons to be a part of your platform, and sell me why you're making it feel like the people that have been on your platform, your long-term customers, it's just like phone deals these days, right? Your new customers are the only ones you care about, and your long-term customers, you don't care if you keep them. And it's it just seems so backwards. It just seems like your long-term Xbox customers just feel like they're getting the shaft in favor of the new hot thing on PlayStation, and selling to new PlayStation users.
I could see your point on that. As somebody, I'm also a long time Xbox person, right? From the 360 on, and I get that. I just don't fully agree with it 100%. Yeah. What makes games?
Developers.
Money. developers, what money, right? Time and money.
Sure.
How do you get the money? You sell the games, right?
Faux show.
You
And
sell your product, right?
traditionally, let's say before Game Pass, traditionally, to sell the games, they got to buy what? Your console, right? Okay. They made a ton of mistakes, as you said, and they're way behind. What do we know that the console comparison is PS5 to Xbox Series? It's like 1-4, right, on average, or something. 1-5. In some
Okay.
regions, it's like 20-1. Like Japan, forget about it, right? Asia. So you have to sell games to make money and sell them on your platform, but your platform is 1-5 of the other company, right? And so you're missing out from a market view. You're missing out a huge market, right? So yes, you still want to have your Xbox branding, but it really the console's done, right? Sure, you want to have a console and have some way for people to play, but it's done. You've shot yourself in the foot enough times that no matter what games you make, and they keep screwing up games as it is, Halo and stuff like that. No matter what games you make, it's not going to make up for 1-5 or 1-20. You might gain some ground. It would take a huge.
Well, if as a
fumble.
whole it's 1-5, then as a whole it's 1-5, right?
Yeah,
Because
sure. Oh, sorry, over average, yeah. So
in the US, it's just shy of 1-1.
is that right?
Yeah.
Just shy
Yeah,
of 1-1.
Yeah, Yep.
I don't know if I believe
it's something
that,
like 4-5 or something like that.
okay, fair enough. But my point being is that they can't just be through the console anymore, and that's where they're going with this, right? They got to sell it wherever they can. So I totally agree. Like, it would be very nice as an Xbox fan to say, like, oh, I get what you're doing. Like, to me, I get what they're doing, but I do agree that which games and when. Right now, it's a case by case thing, so it leaves you guessing, like, oh, should I invest in Game Pass and get this game and play now? Should I just wait 6 months, play it on my PlayStation? They're going to be different features. Ultimately, the consoles are very similar, right? There's not a lot of differentiators between the consoles anymore. I know like the architectures are slightly different in like in their bridge and stuff like that, but GPU, CPU wise, VRAM, all that stuff, all very similar. They perform very similar. Difference maybe the controllers are very different, right? Other than that, they're not going to do anything hardware wise to truly just all of a sudden sell tons of Xboxes. So to them, it's all about selling the games now. We'll do it through Game Pass, and then we'll utilize that massive platform of PlayStation people to also play our games, which they're, as we just said before, they're still making the money, whether you're angry or not. You just talked about playing their games just on a different platform. So I don't know. That's just my thoughts on it. Again, I don't think you're wrong, and I totally get why you're upset. I think I'm on board with what they're doing.
I just don't know
I would
what
agree.
they're doing. So how can I be on board? I just I'm not. They're about to drive into a dark. They may or may not know where they're going, but all I see is a dark tunnel, and I'm like, do I jump on board here? I don't know. What do I do?
I mean, you're already on board though, right? Like, you've been on board for a very long time.
Will I stay on board? I don't know.
For at least 2 to 3 years, you will.
And you just talked about if the hardware is gone, you will find another way to play Game Pass. That's what you said.
Yeah,
maybe. He's a little red right now.
Yeah.
But I am Team Red. Go Nintendo. But
dude. They're gonna put Game Pass on the Switch too.
Oh,
then I might play it. Might be worth my time.
But
okay, I think we got it. I think we need to wait another. I hate to say this because people say that, like, let's wait and see with Xbox, but I think maybe over the next 3 to 6 months, if we get an idea of are they going to actually launch the handheld or announce it? I wonder if they're waiting to see when the Switch gets announced and then they would announce their launch plans.
I think that'd be a terrible idea.
To wait?
To wait? Well, not necessarily to wait, but to launch or announce alongside or very close to the Switch 2. There's no way you're going to beat the Switch 2. I mean, they've been the definitive handheld for a decade almost, like you said, 9.5 years. Xbox launches a handheld, which we all know that they will eventually. But I think that would not be a great move to
Yeah,
launch
I think it's
alongside the Switch.
coming. I think it's coming in 2026. I don't think that I don't really think Nintendo is even like just kind of factoring into their plans. I just think that they're like, all right, we're gonna launch this Xbox. I think it's gonna launch as their next gen Xbox with a standard uh, TV set box, right? Like a set top box.
Mhm.
I just think we're probably looking at like a couple $500 consoles. You can either get the handheld that's kind of Series S equivalent, and then you get the Series X equivalent set top box at the same
Okay,
price.
I could see that.
Yeah, but so what I do think, which is funny, I actually think like they have in the pipe a way to sell consoles for the next gen is we've heard Phil talk about launching with multiple launcher or multiple storefronts on the console. And to me, that is a that shakes the industry a little bit, right? Like if you launch your next Xbox and it's got Epic Game Store, it's got itch.io. He specifically mentioned those and did not mention Steam. So maybe it doesn't, or maybe maybe it's kind of a Windows like a Windows Xbox experience, right? Like I mean, Xbox OS is already kind of Windows underneath the covers, right?
Sure.
But maybe there's a little more of that. You're able to tap into that a little more, kind of in the same way that, like, say, a Steam Deck. You have Steam OS is how your console or your Steam Deck launches, but at the end of the day, you can also boot into desktop mode. I'm not saying Xbox will say boot into desktop mode, but it'll have some access to like a Windows Store. So if you can download or something like that, right? Like if you can download the Steam launcher onto your next Xbox, now you can play PlayStation games on your next Xbox. And really, at that point, both consoles are multi-platform. Um, and then here's what happens. So like, there's also conversation. Well, PlayStation would block that. Will the EU allow that? Well, is that anti-competitive if the EU, if PlayStation decides, oh, we're gonna block Steam users that download Steam onto their Xbox from playing PlayStation games? That's anti-competitive, is it not? I
I
mean,
would agree.
that to me is that's a I don't know that stands. So maybe I
You're
don't.
right. That's a huge game changer, dude.
Yeah, right. Like that rocks the industry in a way that's good for the consumer.
Yeah,
And
if they come out with a handheld or a hybrid or whatever, and it can essentially they're in bed with Epic, but there's some way to install Steam.
right,
I mean, that's massive because PlayStation's pursuing the strategy of putting, their games on Steam at a delay or sometimes day and date, um, with
And they
console
have been
launch.
for a
So
very long time, right? They're very much intertwined with that strategy.
right, yeah, that would totally shake it up and put the Sony back on their heels, I think.
that would be pretty cool. And then you get the big three again. And then
All right.
Steam coming in there, or Valve coming in there and trying to do their own version of it too, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they come out with another set top box, but maybe I'm wrong. Um, okay, what about Black Myth Wukong? You guys been following this game? Remember when it got first announced like a year ago? Everybody saw the video, including me, Evan. We might have talked about it on the podcast at the time. Was like, holy shit, this game looks amazing! Like graphically, this looks really cool. What is this game about? There's a lot of people saying it's a Souls-like. Is it an action game? Is it a boss rush game? And then the numbers were insane, like breaking records. Right? Like
Yeah. Is he cutting in
this
and
is
out?
clear. This is a Chinese studio. Oh no!
Yeah, I keep seeing you getting like signal bars pop up on your next to your name tag.
Of course, of course. Why not? It looked good on my side. I don't know.
Oh man.
Curtis is on mute, so
Hey
the
man,
struggle cast.
we're not talking about me. We're not talking about me.
Uh,
And
okay, so Chinese studio, right? Big launch in China for this game. Massive numbers in China, plus good numbers globally. I don't know what its peak was, but it was up there with like PUBG and stuff for
Beat
PC
it.
players. Oh, did it beat
took
it?
the cake. Yeah, it's got
Okay,
the highest
did.
peak player
Okay.
count on Steam ever.
Ever? That's well done. Nice.
Yeah.
Thoughts on the
But,
game? Are you guys going to play this? Are you interested in it? Does it look cool? Like, what do you think?
Me and my
I'll
boy.
just get this on Xbox, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Exactly.
now out on Xbox. We'll talk about that controversy here in a second.
Me and my boy Jake Baldino talked about this one. I mean, just Souls like Souls adjacent game. Looks cool. Looks pretty. Completely understand the completely understand why it would be so popular given the setting and the mythical creatures and stuff in there in Asia. I not really blowing my skirt up as the kids say these days.
Evan?
So people playing it and the developers are all saying this is not a Souls like. It's more of just a little more traditional action adventure that's not nearly as difficult. Or spawn points I think are a little more forgiving.
Yeah,
Um,
that is. Yeah, I think, or at least I meant to say quasi Souls like. If I
You
said
said
that was my
adjacent. You said
I
Souls
kinda
adjacent,
guessed
so
something.
yeah,
You did
close
say
enough,
adjacent.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, no, I mean, I think it looks good. I can't play it on my Steam Deck. I can't play it on my Xbox. I can't play it on my Switch. So I can't play it right now. But um, yeah, maybe when I download Steam onto my next Xbox, I'll pick it up. But
Love it.
um, but yeah, no, I mean, it looks like it's I don't want to say it's taking the world by storm. It's taking China by storm, and then taking the world by a nice moderate rain. Because it seems like there's if you look at the player count on Steam, right? It's the hours are peaking during like China hours, right? Like so, and then it just like it beds, after midnight, in China, the hours or the peak, the player, whatever, the concurrent players just drop like off a cliff. So,
Yeah, it's still good. It's still pretty high though. It's
yeah. I mean, it's not like yeah, I agree, but um, it's pretty relatively popular elsewhere, right?
Mhm.
Just like it's kind of like Xbox in US, right? but
Yeah.
yeah, no, I think it looks good. I'm interested in it. I would like to play it, but I can't. So I wouldn't be buying it right now if I could, but be something on a sale.
Yeah. So there's a lot of before we come to my thoughts, there's a lot of controversy around this because there's different leakers and reporters and websites saying, hey, this game's not on an Xbox because there was technical difficulties. Then there was a rumor it was a memory leak, and then the same old story of, oh, it's the Series S holding it back again, which is like slapped onto everything. I feel like
sure.
we know Baldur's Gate ultimately had a memory leak as well. That was a problem that was holding it back on Xbox. And now they've come out and said, well, actually, there's timed exclusivity. Sony paid for this to be exclusive to their console. And the counter argument was, well, why didn't they market it that way? And now there's additional reports saying, well, they didn't pay for timed exclusivity necessarily. They just helped fund making the game. So that's
Got
why
a
it's only on
backroom deal kind of
PlayStation.
thing.
Yeah. So
Right.
there's lots of different
That's why they
things
were
going
able
around.
to get it on PlayStation sooner or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It's about as clear as Xbox's strategy right now.
I think probably likely memory leak type thing, right? They can't get it running properly on the game. This is a first time studio. They've never made any other game. They've worked individually. Their people have worked on some other stuff, but this is like coalescing into this is their first crack at this. And my understanding was it was developed for PC, and then the engineers from Sony were helping them do the port. So
Okay. Well, congrats to them for just knocking out the park right off the bat, though.
Oh yeah.
Taking the Steam #1 slot, dude. That's no small feat.
Yeah. So what if I told you guys I played this game and I played the hell out of this game and it slaps? I've played nothing but this game since it came out.
Really?
Yes, it's really good. You can check my
Wow.
PlayStation profile. I wanted to have it done for review in time, but I couldn't. I'm on chapter 5 out of 6.
Oh, nice.
Chapter 3, extremely long. It's kind of like a bell curve. It kind of goes in that 3, 4, 5 range is really long, and then tapers down in 6. Is not a Souls-like. It's an action RPG first and foremost. There are Souls-like elements, just with like some of the boss fighting and stuff. It's more like if you took God of War and like an Elden Ring adjacent game and slapped them together, with a little more pace. In it, a lot of complaints online about invisible walls. So it's beautiful, awesome environments, and you'll be running around and you run into invisible wall, kind of like back in the day on the 360 games or even Xbox One. To me, not a big deal. Like, I loved exploring this. There are secrets galore in this game. If you like exploring, like back in the day, like 360 games and original Xbox or whatever, so many secrets. So many whole secret love. Like, each chapter is like in a certain biome or world, like realm or whatever. There's entire secret realms in each chapter. There's secret bosses. You could play the game and miss out on tons of gear and stuff, or the entire bosses. I found a secret boss, couldn't beat him, went to fight another boss. That boss showed up to help, and had I beaten him before, he would not have showed up. So I looked this up after. So just all sorts of crazy stuff. The story is based on Journey to the West. It's kind of difficult to follow. There is translation issues in a way. It's very hard to put into English some of the meanings, especially in the poem type things from Chinese. And where was I going with this? Oh, the dialogue. So kind of like old Asian movies that are dubbed, where they're like talking and then their mouth keeps moving. This happens in this game.
Okay.
You'd be like,
Damn.
"You defeated me." And their mouth just keeps going. Game is so much fun. There's a lot of customization that you can do to your character. So you essentially you have a big staff. You start out with, you can just like whack them with the staff and do combos. Then you can change stances if you want. You can redo your points at any time, free of cost, which is really nice. So you get some new drop or new gear or whatever, and you want to try it out, you can just respec the whole thing super fast. When you defeat certain bosses or elite enemies, you can capture their soul or their essence, and you are allowed to transform into them, which is also super awesome. So
like
one
Super
of your
Mario Odyssey.
yeah to put it in Nintendo terms. So you beat these guys. There's a reward, right? You get to capture them, and then like you turn into them and have these special powers during the fight, and it's kind of limited. But you can also put skill points into keeping that longer or stronger and so on. I found it not as difficult as Dark Souls or other like Elden Ring or Souls-like games. I thought it was easier. There is no parry at the beginning, which I think is why my brain liked it better. There's only dodge.
I hate parry.
Me too. I hate the timing of parry.
Yeah.
And then having to know, oh man, that was a move I was supposed to parry versus dodge. Hate that.
Yep.
This has only dodge. The dodge feels awesome. If you do a perfect dodge, it does like an after image, like mirror image of your body. So your guy stays in that position, but then you're really over here, like you know what I mean? Like you move so fast, it's still there, like a Dragon Ball Z type thing or something. Yeah. So it's super satisfying. The character design is incredible. Everything's different animal based. So you go like, you're fighting like wolf ninjas and tiger samurai and either dragon people or literally full on dragons, and every fight feels very different. The mechanics of the fights are awesome, and then like even if there's similar type enemies, they completely change the environment. So I had to fight this big essentially wagon that was a dragon wagon, and so I'm fighting this guy. There's another dragon wagon. This time it's in a tunnel. So you have to fight this thing in essentially a hallway fight. And how the hell do I beat this? I can't fight it the same way that I fought it before. The game is just really, really good. It'll be in Game of the Year talks. There are issues and some performance type things, but it's like a very solid 8.5 out of 10 probably.
Nice,
in my opinion. So I'll do a separate video on this, I think, because I want to actually review this, because I really, really love this game. It's a lot of fun. You should, if you get a chance, you should check it out, whether it's on a discount or comes to Game Pass or whatever.
So first thing I want to say is I'm gonna I drive a Toyota Venza. I think I'm gonna go paint a dragon on it and rename that thing the Dragon Wagon.
Oh my god.
Because that's just wonderful. Um, second off, so with Astrobot and an exploration game with all kinds of secret places to discover, you're talking to somebody who's still playing Fallout 4 in 2024. It's because I want to discover every location on the map, right? There's so many secrets and so many little hidden locations, right? Like maybe the branching quests, side quests, and all the stuff aren't as deep as say something like New Vegas, but the exploration is top notch for the Fallout series, in my opinion. And that's what I play like an open world video game for, right? The exploration, the discovering all these little things, and then so with Astrobot and Black Myth Wukong, I'm just like maybe I do have reason to buy one of these PlayStation 5s that I've said I will pretty much never buy.
And you can get the new Pro
it's
version.
not that I've just never had the incentive to, right? And especially with because the games are always like, oh, those look good, but they eventually come to Steam, so I'm kind of like, all right, I can just wait till they come to Steam. But something like this, I mean, I could just get a better PC, but also Astrobot coming out this year, those would probably if I did have a PlayStation, these would probably be possibly be my top 2 games of the year that we could be talking about. I mean, Astrobot's not out yet, but it's Super Mario Odyssey, but for PlayStation, right?
Yeah.
Or Super Mario, 3D Super Mario game, right? But PlayStation style. So, no, that sounds awesome. Like the more you talked about, like the exploration and all that stuff, and then just like the different creatures and all the just right. I mean, are there puzzles in it? Because if there's puzzles in it, then you just told me it's Breath of the Wild 3.
No, no. Breath of the Wild 3. No puzzles. There are I want to say quasi. You have to figure some stuff out, and that's how you get to some of the secrets. Some of the secrets are, I found a hidden path. Some of it's listening to dialogue, and it's not heavy dialogue, right? You talk to these guys, and they have 3 different lines they say, but you perk your ears up at certain things, like, oh yeah, it used to be behind the waterfall, but you need a special dragon scale. Okay, now if I go fight this dragon, get his scale, I can go unlock the waterfall and go behind it or whatever. And there was actually one fight where I missed a big attack and the guy dodged out of the way, and I hit the wall and it broke open. So when I finished the fight, there was a secret path there to go into. I would have never known to do that. I mean, maybe there was some dialogue or something, but I ended up getting into that. And some of it's you're running down whatever the beaten path is, and had you never turned around, you would have never realized right behind you there was a fork in the path the opposite way, right? So it rewards you actually running around and looking, but it's not open world to where you can get completely lost and spend 100 million hours, right? So, Evan, I really do think it would be right up your alley to check out. It's a perfect balance of what you like versus not time consuming.
Sure. Yeah, no, it sounds like it.
Anyway, Wukong, play it. If you've played it, let me know your thoughts in the Discord. I would love to chat about this game. I'm hoping to have it done within the next week. So that was a sleeper.
That was a sleeper. Yeah, I was gonna say he hasn't mentioned that to us in any of our chats or anything like that.
Yeah, I intentionally did not do
coming in swinging.
I thought I was coming in with a sleeper. I mentioned to Mark and in the Discord that I've been playing yet another JRPG, but it's not as much of a bang. It's not gonna make as much of a splash as Mark's preview here on Black Myth Wukong.
Man, I was trying so hard to have this reviewed. I actually texted my wife today when she was at work, and I'm like, I'm in chapter 5. It feels really big. So I Googled how long is chapter 5, and I'm like, I can't do it. I got to do chores around the house and stuff. Yeah. I was hoping to have the game done for tonight, but
get you one of them housekeepers, dog.
I know, I need one. Not in Australia. Not in Australia. Too expensive. Expedition 33. Did you guys watch the gameplay trailer for this that came out?
Yep. Yeah.
Dude, nope. Looks awesome.
It does. I agree. It's the best way that I think I could describe it is Final Fantasy 16 style combat, maybe 15. I don't remember which. But kind of a throwback to that. But it looks cool. I After watching the gameplay trailer, I watched a couple of people who actually got to play it, like at Gamescom.
Yeah.
Everybody said it was awesome. Everybody said that they wish they had gotten more time with it, because I don't think um, they had like a very small gameplay like availability demo or whatever you want to call it for the folks that were there. So like you
Mhm.
couldn't just kind of go off and do whatever you wanted. It was kind of like this really closed off, like this is what you can play. Now it's over, next person's turn kind of thing. But everybody said it looked awesome. Graphics were awesome. Writing wasn't god awful, which is something that uh, sort of takes a back seat in a lot of games these days, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And then the graphics and then the combat gameplay felt really satisfying, is what everybody was saying. I'm even more excited for this one than I was after the reveal trailer.
And it's on Game Pass day one.
Absolutely.
Love that. I was
Yeah,
to say,
dude.
I said I didn't watch it. I might have watched something. I watched something brief. I didn't watch any kind of extended gameplay.
Yeah, that was this week. They posted a gameplay trailer maybe 3 or 4 days ago.
Yeah. But I'm
Um,
pumped for this.
the gameplay looked great. There was like some animations and stuff that I thought looked kind of stiff, like just traversing the world and stuff. But other than that, it looked really good. The combat looked awesome. And just a quick comment on this is like Square and those guys have said like we can't go back and do turn-based RPG. We got to do this action battler system thing that they've been doing with like Final Fantasy VII Rebirth and 16 and stuff. And I think that really what they needed to do was what these guys are doing with Expedition 33, is that spice it up a little bit. We will still play this turn-based combat. They've added things that are in the combat that make it interesting, like you can do parries and dodges and some other stuff. So it's keeping you engaged in this combat. Like give us these different flavors of this turn-based and we'll play it.
It's like an updated version of turn-based.
Yeah, exactly. Don't just
Modernized.
totally divest from it and have some sad excuse that nobody wants to play this. No, you just stopped innovating. So you decided to go do something else.
Yeah, I would have been extremely less excited about it if the combat was like Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth or something like that, right? Because I don't like that style at all. So I'm super curious / excited to try like this new kind of hybrid thing that they've kind of smashed together between that and like a turn-based thing, right? So it looks very interesting.
Yeah, plus the game looks gorgeous and the story seems cool. Like the idea of this painter that is painting these numbers and it kills everyone. Like Thanos snaps everyone of that age,
just
right? So yeah, I'm very interested. Speaking of extended gameplay, Avowed extended gameplay. Good.
I didn't watch the new trailer for it yet.
Okay.
Or not gameplay, I guess, not trailer.
Yeah. For me, much like Zelda, gotta catch them all. I know I'm playing it, and so I'm just I don't need to see any more of this at this point. You know, like it seems like it's slowly like Avowed, just like it was getting all this mixed reception, and then it just slowly, just every time it's shown, it just seems like the reception gets a little bit better and stuff. And I'm like, just like I peed us in the Discord, I have full faith in Obsidian. They've never put out anything for me to have any doubt against that, doubt on what they can do, and what they will do. I've especially when it comes to their Western RPGs, right? Which is their bread and butter. Yeah, I'm all in. I'm just ready to play it. Good thing I have some time to get through my backlog though before I can.
They did put out Knights of the Old Republic 2, so they don't have a spotless record by any means. That's a hefty dent. So let's not go sing their praises. I can't.
Wait.
It's either me or him, Mark.
One of us say the game was garbage. The game you just told me the game was garbage, and then now you're giving me a hard time for not playing it. You're giving me a hard time for not playing a garbage game. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, but you should have at least, just based on how the greatness of Knights of the Old Republic, you should have at least had to try it.
Tried what? Which game? Knights of the Old Republic?
Knights of the Old Republic 2. Obviously, you've played multiple times and beaten Knights of the Old Republic.
Oh, of course.
That goes without saying.
Yep.
I mean, everybody has.
Yeah. Next, you're going to tell me I've got to watch the Terminator movies.
Oh my god, I can't. um, and the Alien movies. Um,
I watched
don't say
Aliens.
Prometheus.
I watched Aliens with good old Adrian Brody and Topher Grace. No, that was Predators.
AVP.
It was
That
Predators.
was- oh yeah, okay. We'll just stop. You're just hurting our credit. The subscriber count's going down right now.
Listen,
We just
I
lost
watched
4.
the Avowed gameplay. I skipped through it. It's like a 30-minute video, right? So I just skipped through to watch like a minute here, a minute there. It looks good. I think it's looking better than what they first showed. They're catching a lot of flack for 30 frames per second performance that they locked it at supposedly. Take it or leave it, man. Like, of course, I always want my games to be 60 FPS or 120 or whatever. I always want it to be better, but if it's 30, it's not going to kill me. If the game's fun, it's fine. Like, I'm not that up in arms over that. And yeah, you guys are right. Obsidian does not often miss. They have varying levels of success, but they're pretty much always successful, right? And it's always they put out something might not be for everybody, but it's good. So I think it's looking good. One thing I noted in my show notes here was to talk about the walking and game trailers. So this game, they're playing and they're walking super slow and then looking around in the
Oh
environment.
yes.
And I just thought to
Oh,
myself,
yeah.
like, nobody ever plays the game like
Nobody.
this.
Yep.
But they do that in all the trailers. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. They have like the joystick push forward 1 millimeter so they can
Yeah,
just
so-
creep as slowly as possible. Look at these clouds. Look at the top of that.
They
that
just reset the
canyon.
dead zones to be like 90%
Yeah.
of the just that last bit.
Oh man, no.
I
Every time I
occasionally
see
do
that, I think the same thing.
I occasionally, I don't change the dead zones, but I do occasionally just like slowly walk around, try to get that like cinematic effect that they're going for in the just to show off actually the game that I will be talking about whenever we hit what we've been playing. I will I did that a little bit these past few days where I just put the joystick like halfway in or whatever, just kind of
Mhm.
slowly navigate the space just to just really soak in the environment and kind of set that tone.
I will do that from
I-
time to time, like look around. But I think a lot of that's been eliminated by photo mode too. Photo modes in games, it's more
I never
popular. You
touched
can just
the
do that.
mode.
The only
Sure,
time
you
I've
would
ever
like it.
used a photo mode was in why can't I think of the name of the game?
Pokemon Snap.
No. Well, okay. The second game. You're not wrong there. That whole game's photo mode. What is the space game? The Shattered Space expansion? Why can't I think of the name of this game?
Starfield, dude.
Starfield. That's the one. Yeah.
Starbound,
That's the only
Starfleet,
time that I've ever
or
used
Sea of
photo
Stars.
mode. I've
Stop.
never been like
Star Ocean.
I've never quite understood the appeal to photo mode for folks that like do like cool screenshots. I'm always like, oh, that's cool. Next, like it's just never.
There's so
been
people
a
like
thing
you
for
can
me.
view them and enjoy.
Well,
them
I
for a
appreciate
split
that
second
to
of your
all of you
life.
photo mode users.
Yeah, right. Yeah, for me, like even in real life, like if it weren't for my wife, I probably wouldn't have any pictures of my kids.
Yeah, same.
But,
Same. Not that I have kids, but just pictures of anything.
like so I'm just like not one to stop and take pictures. Like I'm taking it in as I experience it, and that's where it sits. That's where
I'm
that
right there with you.
experience
Okay, let's rip through some quick stuff here. Remedy Annapurna partnership. So Remedy makes Control, previously Max Payne, and Alan Wake. So they have a partnership and some co-investment, and Annapurna is going to be in charge of making like TV/movie properties of Control, and then they're also going to have the next game that they're working on as well, right? So it's pretty cool.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for those of the people that don't know, Alan Wake, Control, and Max Payne all set in the same universe, which was a big reveal
I did
in the
not know that.
Control games. Yes. So if you play through the Control games and pay attention to some of the audio and the dialogue and things that you can pick up and read, the reveals that they're all set in the same universe. So interesting to keep an eye on that as they release more of that IP, both in TV and movies and in games. Space Marine 2 is coming out. Curtis, Evan, I know you're not playing this. You can just mute and walk away if you want.
He has just too many,
Yeah, I'll be right back.
too many pixels, too many things moving on the screen for him.
He left,
It's
literally.
incredible. He's like, "Yep, cool. I don't need to be here." I unfortunately will be traveling for work on the day that this game comes out, so I had to do the sin of buying the upgrade version so that I could play early, because I'm not going to be stuck on a trip and seeing all the spoilers come out on YouTube and Reddit and stuff like that. So I will be playing this game on the 5th when I get home from work, and then playing it until I have to leave for my work trip on the 9th. Very excited about it. Looks very cool. I'm okay on the PvP aspect. I don't think that. I mean, obviously, I'll try it because it's part of the game, but I don't think that's where it's going to shine for me. The 3-player kind of co-op horde battler slash monster or slash boss killer mode.
That's
I think
the
is
war
what I'm looking
mode or
forward to
whatever?
most.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like you battle through. And they're not. It's not always the same, right? So it's a quasi like procedurally generated, where sometimes you'll have like mini bosses show up, sometimes they won't show up. The bosses at the main bosses will be different. So super excited to give this game a go. Have been for a year and a half now, so very excited for this coming Friday. And I'll be doing the same thing that you did with Wukong, is just playing that all weekend.
Sweet. So you're telling me I got to finish Wukong by then and hop on this?
That is correct.
Got it. Okay.
I got a long weekend next week too, so make sure you
nice.
don't disappoint.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Um,
I think it sounds good. But it's not on Game Pass, so
That is an unfortunate truth, sadly.
yeah. For some reason, I thought it was because the first one's on Game Pass.
Dude,
Was it on Game Pass?
no, yeah,
the first one
I
came
know
out
for a
13 years
fact.
ago, by the way. So
Yeah,
I don't know.
I know
It's-
for a fact when we saw it in one of the trailers, like one of the Xbox showcases, it said Game Pass. I know it said it. So
Okay.
I don't know if that like
like
devolved
Lucky Square.
or what, but yeah, not on Game Pass at least at launch.
All right.
Sweet.
Yeah. I mean, I was to say I could have just been confusing. There's so many different like 40K games that come out, right? But yeah, no. I mean, it looks cool, but like I said, like we talked a little bit about the fact that like I was excited about Destiny 2 and jumped back into Destiny 2 or whatever when we started playing, and then I just fell off of it, and I don't know. And I feel like I'm like if I didn't get like full blown into Destiny 2, how likely am I to get just fully into something like this that I don't have any history with? And also, you guys
That's
are
fair.
at different times.
I respect that.
it's also a hard game to play if you have kids. So like finding the time where they're not in the screen where we're sawing terminids in half and stuff. And yeah,
I'm not seeing the problem.
Just a quick Google. There are a lot of people on Reddit that are like, I swear this was coming to Game Pass. So you're not the only one.
Okay,
Okay.
so I'm not crazy. That is validation. Yeah. They put out like a few days ago. They put out a big from Gamescom with all of the coverage from it. There was concerns that there were bugs on the console versions, and so they put out a update, like a big FAQ developer direct type deal a few days ago, and to address that and say, don't worry, that's going to be repaired before the game goes live. We've already tested it. It's good to go. You don't need to. We acknowledge that what those folks were saying does have some accuracies, but it's been resolved. Fear not, sort of deal.
Okay.
And then in one of those questions was like, oh yeah, does this come to the Game Pass? And it's just like the whole, all of the other questions just like 2, 3, 4, 5 sentences long. This one's just like no. So
Right.
yeah,
Interesting.
I could have sworn it was coming to Game Pass, but I guess maybe that must have fell through or something.
I can't think this will do massive numbers. I'm surprised they wouldn't take a Game Pass deal for guaranteed cash.
Maybe Xbox. Give it,
All right. Yeah. Let's I'm just looking through my notes list. I don't see anything else. We do have I want to do a monkey's paw curl segment, but I know Curtis has got to go in a little while, so I don't want to dive
Yeah, I gotta leave in a few minutes. So before I do, let me just go over my remote plays game plan. remote
yeah.
plays
What
Game
we've been
Pass
playing? Remote plays
selection.
Game Pass. Yeah.
And it's been a hot minute now since we've talked about it. If to still refresh everybody's memory, my selection was Ghostwire Tokyo. I put my little over an hour, and I mean quite literally slightly over an hour into it. I need to put some more time into it because there is probably no less than 20 minutes of opening cinematics that you go through within the first hour, just setting the scene
You
and
didn't
stuff
play
like
it
this.
for an hour.
What's that?
So you didn't play it for an hour. You watched it for half an hour.
I sat there with the controller in my hand. I'm calling it as played. So interesting story, interesting concept. You start off, your sister's in the hospital. You're on your way to see her. You get into a car crash and die. And then like there's this weird spirit floating around, and he's like panicking. And he's like, you're seeing through him in like first person. He's like, oh crap, I'm running out of time. I got to find somebody. And he tries to go into like a bystander of the car crash that we were just there. And he's like, oh, I can't go into a live person. Okay. And then he sees like your character's body laying there. He's like, oh, bam. And can like possess your character essentially. And that's what he does. And then very rapidly, a bunch of like bad guys show up, and you're starting to shoot your like spirit gun from Yu Yu Hakusho to blow these guys up, right? And that was exactly what it was like, right? So even from Yu Yu Hakusho, he got hit by a car, and then Yusuke, I think it was like, hey, you want to be back alive? Let's put your spirit back in your body, right? It was great. So I definitely saw where they were coming with that. The immediately, and I'm still working on this, is why I'm going to put a little bit more time into the game. The controls are not great, particularly for looking around, right? The acceleration and the just the aiming and stuff like that is really, really bad. I spent probably at least 10 minutes adjusting all of the sliders, and I still can't get it down to where it feels fluid. And it's unfortunate because your combat is, at least in that first hour, is basically all spirit gun. They have a name for it. I forget what they call it, but I'm just calling it spirit gun because that's what it is. But then it's also like a hybrid. I would say this is low horror ish. So like you're walking, all of a sudden like these flames start. All this stuff is paranormal, right? So like you're fighting like these weird ghost creepy things, right? Like the main bad guys right at the beginning is like Slender Man esque, definitely modeled after him, right? They carry around umbrellas. They're kind of creepy. Then there's these like little schoolgirls that are kind of invisible, and then you start shooting them with the spirit gun, and then they start to like explode, and you start like you have to like use like a, I don't know, like an energy whip to like rip out their ghost core, I think is what they call it, to actually destroy and defeat the enemies. Like I said, there's not, even though I spent my hour in it, haven't really put a full hour of gameplay in it. So in addition to whatever I roll today, if we re-roll today, I'm still going to put it like probably at least another hour into this to give it a full hour's worth of gameplay.
Okay, cool. It sounds interesting, but also I'm like warded off by some of the downsides of what you said. So
if I can't get the controls to be fluid and smooth, then I won't play it anymore because it's rough.
Okay. I do think we should pick again today, before we jump over to Evan. What do you guys think about picking the same game? And then we could all share our own unique thoughts on the same game. Or do we want to keep it separate?
Yeah, I like that.
I'm okay with trying that.
Okay. Anyway, Evan,
give me 1 second.
You want to go?
All right. Oh, he gone? Oh, no, he's coming back.
He'll be back.
Yeah. So, I had Crisis, right? So, just booting up that Xbox 360 emulation or whatever that's on the Xbox Series console just brings back all the memories, right? And then even hitting the home button and just seeing the old Xbox 360 menu, it's like, oh yeah, let's get into this thing, And this takes me back to the glory days, especially when I would play first person shooters. So I'm getting into this. I'm playing some Crisis, and it just like I'm like, oh yeah, okay, I'm digging this.
You're loving it. Okay,
So
cool.
oh yeah, absolutely. I wasn't sure, and I don't like good graphics, and Crisis was the standard for pushing graphical GPUs and stuff. So back in the day, but no, I was having a good time. It just kind of felt, it just felt like a shooter from the peak days of shooters, right? In my opinion, especially campaign shooters, right? Like single player first person campaign shooters, and so playing it, and I'm like, I can't remember how much time I put into it or whatever at this point, but like, I'm doing this. There's like this little optional objective on the campaign that I'm playing, and it's like you had to like disable this radio or something like that. And game freezes, it just shuts the game off. No, it freezes the game. Just
freezes.
the game.
Okay.
I was like,
still not. I mean,
just
both are terrible, but God.
Right. So I'm like, crap. All right, whatever, So I like sit there, try to do things, try to like, all right, nothing's happening. The game's frozen. The control. So the only thing I can do is hit the Xbox button, close out of the game, restart it. So I do that. I go to do the same thing. Game freezes. Okay, so I look up on Reddit. I Google it and then end up on a Reddit thread talking about game freezing at this side, this optional, part of the quest mission. And everybody's like, yeah, this thing freezes if you just go into the lake, or whatever that's like right there, by the because you're right on the beach there, and if you go to the lake, you could just keep progressing through the game. So I'm like, I don't like bypassing optional. I like to do everything right in this mission, especially a linear game.
Not
right?
today.
I was like, what? I was like, all right. Freaking whatever, so I do that, go in the lake, I'm playing, having a good time. All right, I'm back into it, and doing a little bit of a little bit of sneaking and stuff which is there's some cool stuff, right? You can kind of sneak around a little bit, but it's like it's not a stealth game by any means, but and then you just start shooting people or whatever. All right, sweet, good time playing a little bit longer, game freezes.
No.
I was like, well, I played about 2 hours of this game. I've more than done my homework, and I'm really disappointed that I was ready to play through this campaign. I'm sure it's not a super long campaign. I'm sure it's probably most
6 to 10 maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit longer or something, but I don't know. So I was like, I was ready to rip through that and just get a good old classic first person shooter experience out of that, and did not. I thought about downloading Crisis 2 and trying that. I was like, I just whatever.
Bad taste in your mouth, dude.
I was a little deflated. Yeah. So
That
so
sucks.
unfortunately I was really enjoying the game, but it just kept freezing on me, and it just wasn't worth the hassle. So
No, I don't even blame you there. I would have done the exact same thing. That sucks big time, dude.
yeah.
Dang. Well, I'm glad you were enjoying it. That's a great game and a good series.
Yeah, exactly.
We should probably just skip right by me. We're short on time and everything.
Why would we want to do that? Why exactly would we want to do
found this
that?
picture of Mark. I found a picture of Mark that I want to show you guys.
Please do.
I'm going to share it on the screen. Unfortunately, audio listeners won't be able to see this, but I'm not sure if you can share that, Mark.
I can definitely see.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's right there.
It's been a
right?
minute since I've seen this
wonderful.
photo of him, but yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. That was when Mark's hair was a little more red.
That Australia sun has bleached it a little bit.
This guy. All right.
So if it's not abundantly clear, despite the man saying, "Oh, I've done nothing but play Black Myth Wukong for the entire week of blah blah," I didn't have enough time to play my one whole hour into whatever it was he was assigned. So
Castle
feel free to get in the
Wolfenstein 2.
comments. Yeah, Castle Wolfenstein. It's not even a terrible game. Like it's a good game.
It's not a sequel. I want to play the first one. No,
No,
man, I just
stop
got
it.
tied up in
Not even a
Wukong.
terrible
It is.
case of Benjamin Button.
It is installed on
Yes.
my Xbox. I swear.
Exactly. Oh my god, this guy is he's over there. Shame him in the comments. Shame him in Discord. DM me. I will give you his phone number. You can shame him through text, dude. Like we're gonna.
I will play this game. I
we're
will
gonna.
play it.
Well, I mean, yeah, you're
Hour
definitely gonna play it, but
Benedict Fox.
we now have to come up with a punishment because, like, that.
Yeah.
Why would we not? Like, we
Does-
put the effort, we put the hour in. You put the hours in, just not into the one that you were assigned. So
Yeah,
Uh,
here's your options, Mark. You've got to play and beat Hi-Fi Rush or The Curious Case of Benedict Arnold or Benedict Fox.
Benedict Arnold.
I think you've said this a different title like about 7 times now.
said
They've
Benjamin
all been
Button
wrong. Next he's gonna be like, yeah, if you don't go play Benedict Cumberbatch, yeah.
Doctor
So-
Strange in your life.
Oh my god, yeah. So get in the comments, get in the Discord, tell us
Yeah.
what Mark's punishment should be,
Give him his
because
pawn emojis.
homeboy is not getting off scot-free for this at all. Not
Yeah.
not only
Yeah.
that, not only did he not do this, it's been like what 4-6 weeks now since we've rolled up.
Yeah, This isn't a 2-week thing. This has been
Yeah.
at least 6
Yeah.
weeks, right?
Exactly.
4 weeks?
So
So
get
I go
get at
first.
us. Let us
I say
know.
we get in the Discord. Maybe we throw a poll in the Discord. We get to decide
it.
what Art's punishment is.
Yep,
It's
yep.
probably a gameplay punishment. We'll probably try to keep it to maybe no more than 10 hours of gameplay, which we know he probably won't do unless it's Black Myth apparently. But
Or if it's date
Um,
everything.
I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure Barbie Horse Adventures is on Steam. We might be gifting him that, and he can do a live stream.
ooh,
Oh man.
Let me
Okay,
check.
that's
Let me
fine.
check.
How about we roll for our next game?
Let's do it.
Okay, I've got it up right now.
whoa. We should finish
what?
on this. 'Cause are we going to talk else? What else have you been playing? I'm curious. I mean, Mark's been playing Black Myth Wukong and definitely not Wolfenstein.
All right,
I-
go quickly. What have you guys been playing?
I can go. Mine will take 2 seconds. So, like I discussed in the last episode, I started playing the Mafia Definitive Edition. Played through that. Finished the story mode. Cool story. Like the game back when I talked about it before. Gameplay is dated. Grand Theft Auto style game, but fun story. I enjoyed it. Driving in the game was awful, and thank God I found an option that you can skip non mission drives essentially.
Sure.
So that shortened the game down extensively because I didn't have to drive all over the city. I just hop in the car, hit skip drive, and then we would load into where the next cutscene was for the stories. Cool story. I would be interested in checking out Mafia 2. I've already played Mafia 3. I think I mentioned that previously. And fortuitously, / probably designed at Gamescom, they announced the new Mafia game. It's going to be set in Italy, right? So I'm interested in checking that when it comes out, based on my experience with Mafia.
Sweet. Do I recall you saying those were tank controls for the driving, or am I just misremembering that?
I think you might be misremembering. The cars themselves are, because they're all like 1910, 1920s, something like that. The cars drive like tanks. Like they have no like traction or control or anything like that.
Gotcha.
The driving was easily my least favorite part of the game. I dreaded the missions where you had to do like getaway drives and stuff like that, because it took me 2, 3, 4, 5 tries to actually beat those missions because the driving is just bad.
I like that
but-
setting. I was looking
Yeah,
at the
exactly.
screen. Yeah.
So
How long was
that's
the
what I played.
campaign?
I would say with skipping all of the driving and stuff like that, probably 8 hours. Wasn't very long.
Okay, not bad, not bad.
Didn't overstay its welcome. Had a nice closed full circle ending when you finished it with the final cutscene. The one thing that I didn't like, and I don't think it's the game's fault, it's just a product of its age, is there are multiple missions in the game where it very clearly should have been and was presented as a choice, right? So, for example, one mission is one of the guys in the family goes to the cops, right? He's a rat now. So you track him down, and then you go to kill him, and you literally get to him when he's about to fly away on a airplane, right? And then you'll never see him again because he's going into witness protection kind of deal, right? And so you get there, and his family's with him. They're already in the airplane, and it should have been a, do I let this guy go or do I kill this guy? Because that's what the Don sent me here to do, was to kill this guy, right? That's how it's presented when they start talking. They're like, "Oh, why would you do this to us?" And then they go into some background story, a little bit of fluff lore of the game, and then it's okay, this is what the game's going to do. Like, doesn't give you an option or anything like that, even though it is a very clear like moral choice option of what you
Right.
even if it just like was like a pop of like hit A to whack him, B to let him go, right? It's just nothing. It's just, this is what's happening. That's the one thing, and this didn't happen just one time. It's probably a 3 or 4 different time occurrence where similar situations happened. And the only reason that I bring this up is because all of those were referenced in the final mission and in the final cutscene. It's like, how could you do this, and how could you do that, and how could you do this? And I was like, what do you mean, how can I do it? You didn't let me make those choices. Those were the choices that were presented to me, but you picked them for me without giving me an option. Like I said, I don't think it's necessarily the game's fault, because this is basically like a HD remaster. It's just a product of its time. But it definitely made me appreciate more what more recent games allow you to do. So not that it's a Mass Effect level game, but the choices and stuff like that in those kind of games that they allow you, even if it's the illusion of choice, it's still a choice that you get to pick, right? So that was kind of the one big, aside from the driving, that was kind of the one big negative that I had for it when I did finish the game. Probably wouldn't have been as big of a deal if it didn't influence the story so much in that last hour of the gameplay. But other than that, I enjoyed the story. Thought it was a fun little interactive, Godfather-esque kind of story, and would recommend it.
Another
We
classic
need
I've never seen.
we need you to do a tier time video on this. Yes, I just made that up for our review video names. Tier time, where you put it into a tier.
Tier time.
S tier, A tier, B tier. Don't tell us. Save it for the video.
Oh, okay. You got it.
Little 5-minute review video. All right.
I like it.
You know what I've been playing? Black Myth Wukong.
Black Myth
A couple-
Wukong.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's been 6 weeks since I've been on air. So I've been playing.
Well, here we go.
all kinds of
Another
things.
hour.
You guys got another hour? Yeah. I've been playing a lot of Fallout. A lot of Fallout 4. I'm trying to rip through. I've already kind of like, post institute stuff without spoiling anything. And just trying to wrap up a bunch of the quests and stuff. Like I said, I don't like to skip too many things. And Fallout 4 is one of my favorite video games of all time. Definitely among one of my, probably the second favorite franchise, blah, blah, blah. So I'm just trying to do all the things in that. And then I might move on to the DLC. I've been playing a little bit more Persona, just not as much as some of the people in the Discord that have been asking me about it. Yeah. And part of that is because that kicked off a JRPG itch for me, that I've just been bouncing from JRPG to JRPG to JRPG, because those are usually quick, short games, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
But no, so the latest hotness for me is Octopath Traveler 2.
Ooh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So, I talked about in the Discord. I like, the reason I kind of fallen off like the last week or so of Persona 3 is like, I've just been craving some just cozy atmosphere. We're getting into the turn of fall here, right? Unless you're down under. So this time of year, I just look like I start drinking more coffee because it's nice and cozy. I like to. I've started watching the Lord of the Rings again, which just in time for Rings of Power to come out. All this stuff. I just want to sit down with a book, whatever. That type of atmosphere, right?
So Octopath vibes.
Oh man, absolutely. And we want to talk about visual, just beauty, right? Those pixels are just so the well lit, right? The lighting on Octopath, honestly. So out of the HD 2D stuff, I think Octopath does it the best because the lighting effects that they do are just fantastic, right? I've played some Star Ocean in that same style, but it just doesn't hit as well. I mean, that's another JRPG that I started playing. Yeah, so it just doesn't hit as well as Octopath just nails it on the lighting thing. And for Octopath is basically there's 8 different characters that you get to go through their own little JRPG story with, and in both the first one and second one, you don't have to play one to play the other. But yeah, there it is. Like Mark's showing off right now. This is 2? Yeah. So that's that right there, where with the boats and stuff. That's kind of the area the path that I'm taking right now. I beat chapter 1, and man, I just loving it. I'm just eating it up. Of course, I did say that about Persona 3. I got about 10 hours in, then I haven't played.
Sensing the theme
you
here.
know, maybe my mood changes, but no, this is
Yeah, that's
uh,
amazing.
It does.
yeah, it's great. It's fantastic. The combat's just like the so I've got through the first like kind of boss ish thing in the in terms of combat. It's quite like the difficulty spike goes from like at least I'm in my first story here or whatever, but it's just like the first few guys, you know, the random encounters I'm coming across, I'm like, okay, easy peasy, easy peasy, easy peasy. First boss, I'm like, it wasn't. It's doable. It's fine. It's not problematic. But it was just like, oh, this is quite a jump, right? Like, so I had to use a couple revives, and I have plenty of items and stuff to do it and everything. But I was just like, it just went from like just hit attack the whole time and get through it with no problem to like, oh, I actually have to think about the combat, which is good. I actually want to think a little bit.
You got to go
no,
back and grind some Pidgeys and Weedles.
Yeah, right. I was you know, that was another one I was playing, right? I was playing Pokemon Leaf Green, and I was probably about a third of the way, halfway into that game, and my save corrupted. And
Bro,
I was
just the
playing
worst
through it where
luck.
I'm like, I'm gonna catch every single Pokemon I come across, right? Like I was doing like the full experience, right? I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna try to catch 150 Pokemon, or not, you know, or try to obtain 150 Pokemon, right? I'll do the trades through the Game Boy and all that stuff, the link tables and everything. And so I was like, you know, I was three gyms in, but I was like 40 hours into the game, right? Like that's how much I'm playing this game, and how slow I'm progressing through the game to make sure I'm just doing it all. And because this is the definitive Pokemon Gen 1 experience, in my opinion. I really liked Let's Go Eevee, but it's like that's almost a different just a different take on Gen 1, right? Where it's like Leaf Green was Gen like Pokemon Red and Blue, but like just remaster, you know, like, or almost redone, you know, like it was a 1-to-1 remake basically.
Yeah.
Where Let's Go Eevee was not that. But yeah, so I'm gonna do that. And playing a little bit of Lego Jurassic World, right, with my son. But
Cool.
yeah, there's other things I've been playing, but over the last 6 weeks, I can't remember. I'm most excited right now though about Octopath Traveler 2. But hopefully by the next episode I'm on, I'll be talking about it. Echoes of Wisdom, the new Zelda Pokemon game.
Not the next episode, right? Comes out at the end of September.
Oh yeah, my next episode. That's right. I won't. Just another man. I missed last episode, and I'm missing the next episode. But I'll be.
All right,
we'll
put up an ad for hire. Anybody in the Discord?
Real quick though, I did love listening to the episode like blind as it was published. Like, you know,
I wanted to ask you about that. I was very curious to see.
So yeah, it really killed me not being a part of it, right? Like I love coming in here talking with you guys, right? For 2 hours, 2.5 hours, 3 hours, whatever we're gonna go. I was really excited to just like tune in and just listen to you guys. Like I listened to a regular podcast, and like I'm sitting there listening. I was like, okay, I don't just love to hear myself speak, you know, like I actually really enjoy the content.
I love the self-awareness.
Incredible.
But you thought it was good? I felt bad you weren't here for the board game talk.
Yeah,
but we'll do another one.
I mean, it's, you know, I am listening to friends, but like no joke, like if I was I do love board games too. So right, like if I was not a part of this podcast, this would be a part of my, you know, my rotation that I would listen to. So I'm just gonna give us a little pat on the back, I guess. But there we go. I think we got an audience because at least I would be a part of that audience. But yeah, I did really. I felt I hated missing out on the board game conversation. Right, that's something we don't talk about much. We kind of recycle a lot of conversation here on video games and stuff. We talk about Xbox every time we're on the show, but there's always something about Xbox to talk about, right? Because they're everywhere. Everybody's an Xbox
Definitely
player.
not Switch.
But no, yeah, and I can't. I'm just looking forward to going to Target today to pick up Dice Throne.
Oh my gosh,
Put
I've
them out on the
never
Discord.
never in my life experienced somebody more upset that they had to go on a trip to Target.
Yeah. Well, they were upset because they thought they could get Dice Throne at Target because somebody they thought they could trust.
I also
that they
thought
had
that
their
we were on the
No.
same page. I truly
That it
thought
was
that myself.
Cards Against Humanity and Horrified and
they come
Cat
here,
Burrito.
they come here for their information.
Cat
right?
Burrito,
They think,
that-
Curtis is a reliable guy. He said I could get Dice Throne at Target.
See,
And
don't ever listen to anything
no,
I say.
lo and
Ever.
behold, they had to go home in tears.
I don't
Love it.
I don't know it was that bad. It certainly wasn't as bad as Mark not putting an hour into whatever game he got. I can tell you that
Ooh,
much.
yeah.
All right. Speaking of Game Pass picker, let me pull it up. Here it is.
Here we go.
All right.
Right.
If any of us has played this, are we gonna skip it or?
Wait, hold on. Before you do this, I do want to formally apologize to Kat. I'm sorry that you went out to that store and they did not have it. That's entirely on me. And actually, as a sign of good faith, I'm going to get a hold of you to Discord. I know you guys said that you're happy with just that one box, the Elf Barbarian, but I'm going to send you guys another one. That's on me. That's our
look at
first
that.
official giveaway from Remote Plays Game Pass. So I'll get a hold of you, and I do apologize. I hope you guys have many great memories playing that board game, though.
That's awesome, man. We actually, speaking of giveaways, we are going to be doing some giveaways. I think Evan and I both have some spare keys for Steam for the Board Game Humble Bundle that was out recently. So we're going to mull over what we want to do with that. I was thinking maybe just some random giveaways by putting a question in the Discord and seeing who answers, and then we'll just pick randomly. But also maybe celebrate if we can get to 40 or 50 subscribers on YouTube. And yeah, so please get your friends to check out the show.
Goal.
Subscribe. Yeah, forget 35. We're just going straight to 50. I'll just skip over. Okay, let's pick a game. Are we ready?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
No. This doesn't work. This doesn't work because we've all played this already.
I haven't played this on Game Pass, so
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. You've played it.
All right, here we go. That was Vampire Survivors for people.
No.
Audio.
You have played
Lies
this?
of P. I've
Thank
played
God.
it. Souls
yeah,
like. I got stuck on a boss, the halfway point. One of the harder bosses in the game. I just gave up. I couldn't. I mean, 50 plus tries.
I truly wish that this game was more like
each one of these that we're skipping over too, like in addition to whatever.
Absolutely not. I truly wish that this. So I think the aesthetic, the story, and the idea behind this game is incredible, and I truly wish that it was more in the same vein of how Mark described Wukong, because then I would play it. But like he was saying, I have absolutely, if I can't beat something like in the first 10 tries that I'm trying to do it, I don't have the wherewithal or patience to just sit there and keep trying a boss for 50 times. Like that will be uninstalled for me.
For me, the respawn point has to be right at the start of wherever I'm dying, pretty much, or it just has to be a real quick. It has to be a real quick respawn, something like Celeste, right? Like it's just like boom, boom, boom. You're just playing through, right? Like I died 1,000 times on a level, but it's just like it was easy to, I'm just playing. I never stop moving, right? Like as soon as I'm dead, I'm already moving forward at the restart. But
it's like that in Wukong.
And I love like mid-century London, and this kind of has a mid-century London type of setting, right? The rainy, just dark, and gothic like type of stuff. So maybe not mid-century London, but like mid millennial. I don't know, but like the dark gothic kind of feel and stuff. It's a pretty cool setting. But yeah, I'm kind of with Curtis on this. I put a little bit of time into it. I might jump back into it, but
super quick on the thought of that. I agree, and that's why Elden Ring was great, because it kind of eliminated some of those pain points from the Souls series, and Wukong does the same. So the spawn points are like right before a big boss fight, like you literally will just walk right back up. Another cool thing that it does is some of the fights you get help from other characters. I mentioned that before, like another boss came in and fought, and there's cutscenes, right? Showing some of that, or sometimes you're literally just fighting together with another like AI controlled character. But when you go back after you've lost already, after you do it a couple times, it's just like, hey, we're gonna save you the time. That guy's no longer here. His health's automatically down by 1/3. We're just gonna assume that all that shit happened.
Oh, okay. That's
And
nice.
okay,
Yeah.
now do the fight, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. So just another.
Reroll. I've played this,
I've played this as
15 times. Yeah.
I've never.
Shame.
I did start Mass Effect 1 while I was playing Fallout 3.
Have any of us played this?
Have not played this.
All right, I'm in.
All right.
Citizen Sleeper it is.
I've been wanting to jump into this one. So
7
You want to
hours
read the
to beat.
quick description?
Yeah,
for it real
yeah,
quick?
yeah, sure. Released in 2022, role-playing in the ruins of interplanetary capitalism. Live the life of an escaped worker, washed up on a lawless station at the edge of an interstellar society. Inspired by the flexibility and freedom of tabletop role-playing games, explore the station, choose your friends, escape your past, and change your future. Citizen Sleeper.
All right, let's
Sounds
do
like
it.
could fit all of us.
I like
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Mark's got 2 games to play now,
I
That he
do.
does.
I do.
That he does.
And I will
and
do
then
it. I
whatever
will
the
do it.
Discord decides his punishment is.
That in addition, exactly. In addition,
How about it? How
All
about
right.
his punishment is he's not allowed to finish Black Myth Wukong.
No.
be text
pushing
his
that.
wife. Hey, can you go uninstall that?
Definitely not. Definitely not.
Take the PlayStation power cord.
Brutal. All right, guys. I think that about wraps it up. I know Curtis has got a hot lunch date to go to. He's gonna go get Taco Bell by himself, and then
Dude,
so-
if Bulgaria had Taco Bell, it's valid.
yeah, cool, man. I got Wukong to go play. It's 12:41 in the morning where I'm at, but you know, yeah, it's late. So when you
All
see
right.
me like nodding off, it's not because I don't want to listen to you guys. It's just
A
Just late
likely
here.
story. I really only noticed that when Evan was talking anyway. So
all right, guys, that does
Oh,
it
man.
for episode 14. Please jump in the comments, hit the like and subscribe, smash, you know, all that good stuff. And please, really, the Discord is what we really like, right? We of course, we want more subscribers, but we really enjoyed the Discord conversations that go on. It's just good stuff about daily gaming news and what we've been playing and stuff like that. So it's always a lot of fun. Anything before we jump out?
thanks for listening, and grab your controllers.
Grab your controllers. Time for the show. Friends together. Ready, set, go. Games on channel. 3 amigos. Talking pixels. Dreams and heroes. Every level. Every quest. Gaming moments. Wait for best. Every level, every quest, gaming moments. Wait for best. Every level, every quest,